start now. So enjoy the show in 3, 2, 1. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Core. This is Core for Thursday, January 20th, 2022. I'm Scott Johnson with Bo Schwartz and John Jagger. And there's really nothing going on this week. It's quiet.
Slow week. Nothing happened. No. Huge things happened. We'll get to all that. That's the joke everyone makes. I'm sure 1,000 podcasters uttered something similar. And it's probably real dumb that I did. But it's okay, because this is the first time I actually had a show where we get to actually talk about this for real. Like, there was a tech angle on DTNS, a little mention on TMS, but I haven't had a game show to talk about this at all with until tonight. So I'm really excited to finally spread this stuff on the table and make sense of it, which is what we're going to do.
Spread it, baby.
Yeah, let's spread them, Bo. We'll spread it apart. I'm starting on the wrong foot. Don't spread anything.
All right, let's calm down.
Everyone calm down.
I can't wait to talk about it. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, everybody close your legs and let's do this. Something happened no one saw coming, and I don't even think there were leaks about it. I did talk to one person who said they had heard a rumor a long time ago on the European side of things and thought it was bogus. But other than that, I don't think there were any leaks of this happening at all. So that's already kind of unusual, especially given the magnitude of this thing. But Microsoft, you know them for Microsoft Bob, Clippy, Word, you know.
Their biggest inventions and contributions to our society.
That's right. It probably is.
Basic, or Visual Basic.
Visual Basic, yeah. What was that really bad programming thing they had that was... well, it wasn't bad. It was okay for what it was when it was, but it was like a database that you could do, and it was called...
Access,
Microsoft Access, that's it. And it was kind of cool for its time. I don't think they still
in
make it.
use, I think.
Do they still use... Well, I'm sure some people still have it
was-
in use, but is it a thing people can
Yeah,
use?
I think enterprise level, it's still in use.
Is it
Let me tell you, you get into the corporate sector, Scott, you're going to probably be using Access and being driven crazy by it.
Yeah,
Especially
I was.
if you have to split your attention between, I don't know, if you work at a job where they've decided to put all their eggs in Microsoft Access, and then they went, you know what if we don't do that? And what if we do a completely different programming language instead? Just adopt all the Access stuff over.
Yeah.
It's super easy. Make it all SQL. Can you do that? It's compatible, right?
Sure. No. I mean, yes, but no.
Not as easy as you would think.
Not as easy as it should be. Yeah, my memory, when I worked at the 9 to 5 in an office, we used Access for a little while, but this is like back in the late 90s, early aughts. I thought that was gone, but I guess not.
No.
Okay.
No.
Well, not everyone. You assume everyone's making intelligent IT decisions. There are companies out there using I can't really talk about it, but there are companies using DOS-based stuff still out there because it's legacy and no one can fix it because it's too much money and it stays the same.
Yeah.
Or they software on top of the existing software, so we still require soothsayers who can do thing at the DOS or Linux. Well, Linux is more in use, but I'm just thinking the worst case scenarios of using deprecated software, and it's happening.
Yeah.
Imagine everything that runs your insurance and gets not speaking to anything in specific.
No,
just
nothing.
Generalities here, I assure you.
Yeah.
Just imagine everything that controls your health care and whether or not your bills get paid by your insurance company or there are problems is held together by duct tape, hope, and a lot of sad people.
Wow.
And you've got a pretty clear indication of what the IT structure for a lot of
they don't make
things
any money,
are.
those guys, right? They can't invest in IT infrastructure.
No.
They can't possibly afford it and pay their shareholders and executives.
Yeah, how could they? Yeah, John, I mean, and John's, again, just to reiterate, he's not speaking from any direct experience in the insurance industry or any of that.
know of any companies using AS400 or
none that you worked near, that you live near, based anywhere near you, any of that. So just want to make that clear. Well, this acquisition's a lot bigger than that. Microsoft bought Activision Blizzard King. People want to leave King off, even though it's the opposite of what they should be doing.
It does get a big pass. King, it just confuses people when it gets added.
It does. Well, core gamers get confused, but if you see the numbers at all, King is the most profitable wing of this purchase. It's the thing that will make them the most money the quickest, and is
the King.
It is the King. But you want to scoff at mobile games and Candy Crush as much as I do. We all want it to be better and not so dumb and lame and all that. It doesn't really matter by the numbers. That is a very valuable part of this buy. And to think otherwise is to sort of ignore what's in front of us. But yeah, King is a huge part of this deal. And of course, we're all Blizzard. We all have connections to Blizzard that go pretty deep here. So obviously the Blizzard part of this is a big deal. And it's no small potatoes that Activision is a huge part of this in terms of their IPs and games that they currently publish and their back catalog. We'll get to all that in a second, but here are the main details. For anyone who's missed it, I realize there's been a lot of talk this week. Everybody's talking about it. You might all be sick of it, but here comes Core's take, so stand back and get ready. Microsoft will acquire Activision Blizzard for $95 per share. It's an all-cash transaction valued at $68.7 billion. I would like to formally ask the world of reporters and tech writers to stop saying nearly $70 billion, because it doesn't work the same if you have $7 versus $6. Okay, you could round up and say, sure, by the way, it's $70, it's $7 basically. It's $6 and change. But when you're talking billions, you can't just say, oh, we'll just add or take $1 billion. That's ridiculous. That's a huge amount of money.
Yeah.
So don't
really
round
is.
it.
It's very funny.
What's the exact figure again?
$68.7 billion.
Oh, so close.
Now, you could say 69, I think, and that would be okay for stuff, but I think people are afraid to say 69 because they think it's a sex position. Okay?
Yeah, but it would be nice.
Yeah, no, nice.
It would be nice. We should.
It would be nice.
Honestly, we should.
I see what
Although
you
if
did.
you're going to be picky about rounding billions, I think we should be equally picky about rounding millions.
Yeah, you're like, don't round it to this, but round it to this is fine.
I agree with $1 billion. I agree with the millions as well. Just don't round it. Like whatever it is, it is. And if it's $10, and you're giving me 11, just say 11. Or I'm sorry, if you're giving me 10.75, but really it's 11, and I say I got $11 from John, that's okay. That's okay.
But so that 0.7 is also rounding. Like that's give or take 100 million.
100,
right? Like 8.7.
Oh.
It might be 6.8, 654, or
Right.
6.8.7. Like the range on that is 200 million, I think. What it could. So that's still the GDP of probably a small country somewhere. So
Yep.
like 200 million. Like,
Well, I know 68.7 is definitely the GDP of some countries, or higher than that. But anyway, this is inclusive of Activision Blizzard's net cash. When the transaction closes, and there's still an if. This isn't a done deal in terms of regulation. The EU hasn't had a stab at it. American governmental entities that do such things have not had a stab at it yet. But if it passes antitrust, muster and all that, Microsoft will become the world's third largest gaming company by revenue. That's an important distinction, by the way. And that will be behind number one, Tencent, who is already busily buying up everybody, and Sony, who is currently in second place. It's a little weird, though, because PlayStation as a division, I did some weird math. As of 2021, Sony, in their entirety, is their market cap is $95 billion. The division that is Sony PlayStation is $45 billion of that. This price, $68.7 billion, is obviously more than 45.
it's 1.3.
What that does, it doesn't automatically put Microsoft in a position of being ahead of Sony, but in terms of game revenue. But what it does do, if I'm Sony, it's like sending a firework over your ship and going, "Oh my holy look at that!" It's one of our fans said it well. He said, "This is like a JRPG." And you'll like this, John, because you play a lot of Final Fantasies, plural. But he says it's like that, and the hero is in the throne room of the big boss, and he's just wailing on him. And the hero, it says Sony PlayStation above his head, and he's just wailing on this boss. And the boss is just sitting there with his hand in his fist, not bothered. 40% of the life bar goes down of the boss. Just dook, 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 dook. And you're thinking, man, I might beat this boss. He's not really reacting. And then at 40%, all of a sudden the boss goes, right, stands up, and just decimates the room with his giant money sword. That's kind of what's happening here, or it's a little bit of the at least the initial impact effect of, oh, they have a lot of money, and no one else has that kind of money. It's really
you hit the enrage timer.
Yeah,
It's not like Xbox is buying stuff, and Sony's like, shit, they're really buying stuff and doing new products. Well, let's just keep doing what we're doing. Oh no, enrage timer, shit.
yeah. Well, we got a tweet from Phil Spencer today. I'm going to read this. This is great.
Oh, we did?
Yeah. Well, we did
no,
directly. Yeah.
He said at Core Pod.
Yeah, at Core Podcast. Here it is. It says, tweet from Phil Spencer. He had a call with Sony today, and he says this. Had a good call this week with Sony, or leaders at Sony. I confirmed our intent to honor all existing agreements upon acquisition of Activision Blizzard with our desire to keep Call of Duty on PlayStation. Sony is an important part of our industry, and we value our relationship, unquote. Now, I see that as a positive thing to do. They're competitors for sure. But, don't forget Microsoft is Sony's back end for at least for PlayStation Now. PlayStation Plus, I think, is also Azure-based when they just their download stuff. So they've got all kinds of reasons to, like each other. It's like Sony makes camera sensors for Apple. Samsung made memory for iPhones, but on the phone front, they are direct competitors with Samsung for their Android device. So there's a lot of that with these companies already, and I don't think there's the amount of animosity we assume there is between these giant console makers.
No, they just work jobs. They go home and spend time with their wife.
They aren't
wrestlers.
Right.
They're not like, oh shit, you just got owned by the power bomb.
Yeah, they aren't like Kratos Bandicoot 35 on Twitter. That's like, this is it. This is the end of the world, everybody. We're coming for you. The world's on fire based on this. Like, it is not as extreme as everybody makes it out to
but
be.
they are
It's
like
just people doing business and making what they hope are good business.
Yeah, basically.
They are commanding a lot of influence, so that's
yeah.
for within the industry. Like, that's where you're like, Xbox is going to be able to dictate terms if it has more revenue, has a bigger force, owns more companies than Sony.
Yeah, that's absolutely the play here. Like, they're going to own. I just think they're seeing it beyond console war. They don't care about console wars. They don't. We've talked about this before, but they don't care anymore.
This isn't even about Xbox. This is about Microsoft.
No, it's about Microsoft. It's about becoming the, for lack of a better comparison, the Netflix of gaming, and they want to do it, and they want to do it bad. And I don't just mean streaming, but they're going to do that too. I just mean, and they'd love to have it everywhere. Like, in a heartbeat, they'd go, yeah, Game Pass subscription available on PlayStation. No problem.
Yeah, I think
Go
that's actually kind of a end game for them. Maybe not end game, but I think that's a goal for sure.
Sure.
That they want is you get Game Pass on PlayStation.
Yeah, so we mentioned that last week. We talked about this tangentially. We didn't know about the sale, but I know we talked about Game Pass being on PlayStation.
We definitely.
And you and I were discussing, but I'm like, if I buy a PlayStation and sub to Game Pass, like, that's tilting, man. Like, the PlayStation becomes like a Roku box, basically. Like,
exactly.
Like, what's the point?
Well,
like, if I PlayStation, I'm like, what am I getting?
Let me blow your.
Just gonna eventually go to your thing. Like,
well, let me blow your mind. Let me blow your mind, because I think Microsoft is just as interested in having a service like Game Pass on Roku boxes, on Fire Sticks from Amazon, on Apple TVs, on everybody's
on the Apple
thing.
device for sure,
or TVs themselves, TVs with built-in apps. Like, I really do think they're seeing way above the hardware. They're just like, yeah, the other thing that you're all acting like is a big war. It's 50 years old. We're not doing that now. We're doing this other thing, and you may not be able to see it yet, but that's what we're doing. And Sony probably would sure like to be that too, but they don't have this. They don't have these pockets.
Well, you want to hear something really crazy? Think about this and ask yourselves if you feel this way, because I feel this way. If Game Pass was on PlayStation 5, it immediately makes PlayStation 5 the best console to own.
I agree. Completely agree.
Like, and Microsoft would be happy with that.
They would be happy with it.
Like, that's the other thing that's kind of crazy about it, right? Like, you would literally make your competitor the best console to own, and yet at the same time, you'd be the one that'd be like, yeah, that's a pretty good deal, right?
Yeah. Yeah. This is so then it becomes who has the best Roku box. Like, Bo, you're not wrong about that comparison. I think that's right. I mean, you're making an implication about value, a drop in value, like you went from PlayStation to just another box. But I don't think that's too far from what Microsoft ultimately wants. We already know they've said before they approached Nintendo about putting Game Pass on the Switch. They didn't do it. They wouldn't do it. But that's the other thing. We'll get into Nintendo at some point. But Nintendo is so entrenched in their own weird place that succeeds for them that it's not going to really matter. Like none of this has really any impact on them. Not really. It's weird because they barely have any Activision stuff, Blizzard stuff. They have some games, but it's not a huge deal. And my guess is Diablo 4. Here's my prediction. Diablo 4 comes out on Game Pass day one. It's on Steam. It's on the Blizzard launcher. They keep that going. I don't know for how long or maybe forever. I don't know. But they'll put it in a bunch of other places. It will no longer just be there. Console versions will still come out. They'll still come out on competing consoles. They won't care about that. They'll pay for it on those consoles. They'll have it on Game Pass on these on Microsoft stuff that they control or part of that service. Whoever's going to let you play that service, you'll get a game like Diablo 4 day one via that service. That sounds crazy, but that's what this means. That's what this is. And I don't think they're not behooving to take too many things and make them exclusives. I think in the short term that will help them. So when they make Starfield an exclusive, that helps them in the short term because it's a strong play by Microsoft to say you can only get it here or on PC or wherever else we're going to put it. And that makes sense for the interim. But in the long term, they would be happy if their Game Pass was a thing that was on every box you owned and you could just play it where you preferred to play it. And if Sony stayed the lane and became like the go-to amazing exclusives box that it already is, and this is me. I played PlayStation 5 all week, so I'm coming from a place where I just spent a bunch of time there. It'd be amazing because you'd flip over to your God of Wars and have your exclusive amazing game that you'd never have anywhere else, but you'd have Game Pass at the same time. It would immediately be the best thing to own. Plus, it would do all your media stuff. So John is absolutely right. It would become in a way, just another Roku box. But at the same time, if Sony held what they already do and continue to do it well, then people will still buy those games, and they'll use Game Pass. In theory, this is all theory, but
we know that Microsoft's going to do exclusives.
Oh, yeah.
I can't imagine.
Of course. Well, exclusives.
An exclusivity plan that makes sense where it's exclusive to Xbox, but it's through the Game Pass store or something like. You know what I mean? Like Microsoft. This is where I've started to get irritated with Xbox and with this announcement because I know Phil Spencer's been out there saying we want games on all platforms, but we also know now Bethesda's going to do exclusives. So it's like you're just full of shit. Because I was here very happy about the things he was saying, and then understanding that the flagship games it's what irritates me about Epic. It's what irritates me about PlayStation. I'm not shocked, but I'm like, you're out here getting good guy points, and you don't really deserve them because the end game is that. So I think you're right. It would make PlayStation the best thing. But we know they're going to do exclusives on the Xbox, so
they are.
Never,
but remember,
right?
These are exclusives on Game Pass. That's the distinction. These aren't exclusives on Xbox. These are exclusives on Game Pass.
Yeah, then it doesn't make sense because it's not. If I can buy a PlayStation and then sub to Game Pass and play the exclusive Xbox game on PlayStation, I'm like, we're redefining the meaning of exclusivity in a way that doesn't meet the requirements.
Well, I think that's the point is that if the day came that Game Pass was on PlayStation, that's the end of exclusivity. That's why I say that it would be an end game because once you hit that point, then you stop. But it's not on PlayStation.
But okay, so Xbox doesn't have exclusive then. Okay, but PlayStation will continue to do so, right?
If they want, yeah.
So we haven't eliminated it. It's just. Then it's just like we're just saying whatever. Like I don't really understand Xbox's.
No. I see what you're saying. I think the distinction here is he wants Game Pass on everything, and I say I mean Microsoft, but Phil Spencer's the front end.
Mr. Microsoft.
Mr. Microsoft, Phil Spencer. You know him. He would like to see Game Pass on everything and everywhere and all the time, across the board, PCs, laptops, consoles,
but also have exclusives
to Game Pass. Not to his box, not to hardware. Exclusives to the service I'm talking about that will be everywhere. Okay. So
but on PC and Xbox, currently as it stands, it would be PC and Xbox.
Yeah, but what they want is outside. They want to keep growing that. They want others to let them in and to basically say, hey, we here at LG Television are going to have a built-in way to play Xbox Game Pass, or at the very least, it'll be the streaming stuff. It'll be, xCloud version of that.
Sure.
So their concept, if I understand it as well as I hope I do, and I'm sure a lot of this stuff is either not going to happen or won't go the way he wants, but it's just that. Like, yes, they're exclusives, but they're just exclusives to Game Pass, not a box or not a single service. Well, it is a single service, but that service is the service you want to get everywhere. So think of it again as Netflix. And I don't even just mean streaming games. I mean downloads and everything. But think of it as like Netflix. You're like, well, I don't want to have to buy a Roku because they're the only ones with Netflix. That would be ridiculous. This is they want that model where everyone has a player.
The original series are exclusive to the Netflix subscription. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah,
I just
exactly.
know the exclusivity is not a broad term. It really just means on Xbox or Play or not on P. Like, we're really just talking about the three primary channels for gaming, which is PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. I didn't realize Nintendo's a player, but they don't count because they've never played in the pool with everyone else. They don't like pee in the pool. But like it's always been like it's on this console, not that console. So what's the point of? I guess now, it's just marketing language or something. And then it's just not exclusivity in the traditional way.
The one way that they've been able to skirt it, because nobody controls it. Nobody controls PCs as a single branded thing. Right? Everybody, PCs are for everybody. So that's why Game Pass is on PC. And that's why it would be on PlayStation if Sony let them in. I'm not saying they ever will. I don't have any idea. This is not a prediction that will happen.
Right.
But
I'm saying they'd like to see that. Like,
they'd love to see that.
PlayStation opened up and said, yeah, we'd love to have you. Xbox. Phil would be like, great, we'll meet you in an hour.
Yeah, they'd love to do that. In a heartbeat, they'd do that. And John, and so to John's point, in that unique situation where now the PlayStation 5, at least in the short term, and by short term I mean a number of years, is still the PlayStation exclusive box that makes these amazing games I'm only going to get there, and Game Pass, it is now the greatest console in the history of the planet. You know what I mean?
Because it has everything. But Microsoft still wins. That's the thing that's weird. But I do want to ask a question, and this is going to be a really dumb question. This is going to be me putting on my dunce cap. I genuinely do not understand how large-scale business transactions work. And I'm going to ask this because nobody ever talks about this, and I was just sitting here thinking about it, and I don't know. So I'm going to ask it, even though it's a stupid question.
Go for it.
Okay, how does it work when you buy a company and then you own that company? Because in my head, in a simple term, right? Like, I now own the thing I just put all that money into.
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean? Like, how much did I lose? Where did that money go? Because I just put money into a thing that I now own.
Well, the money goes to those you bought it from. So this money will go to the current ownership of Activision Blizzard and all of its shareholders. And that, which means, and we'll get to the Bobby Kotick and when he leaves information, because we do have some stuff on that. He'll get his golden parachute. He's probably going to.
Yeah, the cash would be reinvested in the company too. Like, it doesn't go straight to the ownership. It would be like, here, we have this bunch of money. There's probably a meeting going, what do we do with this money?
Yeah. There's a lot of that. So you come to whatever
invested in the business.
You come to whatever agreement you have about the value of the thing. But just think of it as a small thing. Like, John, you come to me and say, I need to sell these, I don't know, these baseball cards for $20. And I'll say, they look like they're worth 18. Okay, we come to an agreement. I'll pay 18 for those. You now have the money. I now have the cards. And now it's up to me to do with those cards as I will. In this case, you're talking about massive amounts of money more and a bunch of revenue that is ongoing. So none of these things suddenly stop and then are on hold for a month while everything gets moved over. They all continue to run. So all the World of Warcraft revenue, all the money people pay for skins in Warzone, all the Candy Crush revenue that happens constantly, that's all just still happening. And so they just inherit those revenue sources. That's part of the reason this is valued. Well, it's the main reason it's valued at this is because they're already pumping out tons of revenue. And so it's different than our baseball card thing because I'm not probably going to turn around and make a bunch of revenue from your cards. But it's still the same principle. You gave them money. They now have the money, and they gave you the thing you paid for. And that's it.
Yeah. I mean, I get, so here's the very clear thing that everybody should know. Obviously, I don't play the stock market. I don't have stocks. I don't have enough. I barely have enough money to get by, let alone money to invest. So I don't understand any of this stuff. I do see chat trying to help me out. You are purchasing the stock shares the company holds. So you essentially get that money back via the shares you now hold. But part of it may be you're paying X, but X, is that X12 or X minus 12? I don't know, is actually going to existing debts. Yeah, I don't know how any of that stuff works. It just seems crazy to me. Because like your baseball card example, Scott, like I don't think works, because I understand a simple transaction where I have something, you buy it from me, and now you have the thing. But in a company, don't I technically come along with it? Isn't it like you bought my baseball cards and me?
Oh, in a lot of cases, yeah. So some of the deals, like reportedly, Bloomberg and Wall Street Journal are both reporting. Those are reputable sources, but we don't have confirmation yet, so that's why I'm saying they're reporting it. It's not for sure, but the report is part of this plan is Bobby Kotick is there for the transition once the ink dries, and then he's out of there. And he's got a big golden parachute of some amount of money. He's $400 million or some crazy number that he'll walk out of there with. But part of the deal is you own him for that period of time. In other cases, you own the entire 10,000 employees you just inherited. You own whatever that means. You know, by own, I mean now you're responsible to it. So you get those people, and some of those people will stay, some will go. There might be layoffs. There's concerns about that. You know, just some consolidation / efficiency type stuff that happens with deals like this. I hope it's not major or massive. But regardless, if they keep, whoever's running, for example, I'm trying to think, the team, the Diablo 4 team as currently constituted, that's now owned by Blizzard instead of Activision Blizzard, or sorry, Microsoft instead of the other two. So they just own
possible.
Them. Go ahead.
So just when you're asking this question, is it possible you're also thinking of, because this is 100% sale, right?
Right.
It wasn't, because most of the time, a lot of these acquisitions and transfers are like percentage sales.
Mm-hmm.
I've watched enough Shark's Tank and Dragon's Den to know the shark wants 51% because they get the say in everything, but the sucker getting 49% has to stay and still do the work.
Yeah.
That's why they stay. But like if it's 100% ownership, then you just get the money and you go on vacation. Like,
yeah, this is 100%. This isn't like Tencent buying 50.
If you're still employed there, then you're still employed there. That's why Bobby Kotick's still there, but he could just totally be like, I'm out, bye. And, he's got his money from his shares and he's just gone.
Some of it's confusing to me in the sense that like Tencent has some Blizzard ownership. It's small, but they have some.
Yeah.
Are they relinquishing that? Is that automatic given how low stake it is?
Someone mentioned in chat, there's non-voting share. Not everyone gets a say in what's happening. So if you own like 1% of a company and the majority decides to sell, well, you're
just out of it.
Yeah. You don't get a vote.
No,
here's your money. Goodbye.
You get a bunch of money. You get some money because you'll end up.
Yeah. You have entitlements, but like you don't get a say. Mm-hmm. You're like, well, I own it. Don't I get a say in it? And it's like, not if you're not the majority shareholder. You get no say.
Yeah.
Or whatever other rules are that are contingent upon the ownership.
But John, I think, makes a really good point about what matters, and I think Microsoft is certainly Phil Spencer knows this. Talent is everything in these concerns. Smart designers, quality developers, creators, that's going to matter to them to maintain that. So I don't think this is a chance for them to go, you're all fired, we're bringing in fresh people. Maybe management and issues with harassment and all of that gets taken care of by cleaning house in some of the upper areas, but like they have no desire to like flush the toilet on the Overwatch team. They're making a game they want to see hit market, and now probably have more creative control to do it.
Yeah, but I guess this also means I'm sure shares were probably part of being an employee at like a perk for being an employee at Blizzard.
Oh, like a
lot of companies do.
Yeah, but
do that.
They would have had a forced buyout then or sale, but maybe they'll get shares in Microsoft. Like there's probably shenanigans like that going on where people who have bought can maybe trade it. Like, until it's made public, we don't know. But it sucked to work there for 15 years, have shares, and then things like that are considered for retirement. Like I have shares in this company, it'll increase in value when I retire. Maybe I'll sell. Well, now you sold your shares, so there goes your retirement plan. Or so, like it's kind of, I think, might be a shitty move for people. I would be interested to hear from somebody who worked there.
It's just I didn't want to necessarily sidetrack us too much, but it's just something that I don't hear ever get talked about. Is like what what that actually means on a boots on the ground kind of level.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's because everybody knows I just don't, because I never did anything like that. But yeah, I don't know. I just don't know how these things work.
Well, at this scale, it's insane. Like, I don't even want to think about the hundreds of millions of dollars that are just for lawyers and paperwork, and that process is it's ungodly. Like, I hope Phil Spencer just gets to go home and hang out with his kids and not deal with that stuff. I'm sure he doesn't, because, you know, why would you make your executive do that? But the point is, like, this isn't as simple as me and you trading cards. This is so much money. None of this is cheap.
Sure Phil Spencer doesn't do that much work.
I don't know.
He seems too happy. Like, I'm sure he's got like 50 personals. He just tells them he's way too happy to be like.
There's no way
actually
he's really
stressed out. He looks like the least stressed out. Honestly, he always looks like he stayed up too late playing video games the night before, and he just turned up and he's like, "Hey guys," and he just has a talent for holding it together for these public appearances. For like, he really fits like publicly, but I bet. Like, you know, there's actors who are complete messes of human being who turn it on when the cameras go on and you love them.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like he's got a bit of that, where it's like he really likes playing the games, and he's got a good head on his shoulders when it comes to running the business. But he's not sitting there under mountains of paperwork doing any work. No. Are you kidding me? At that level? No way, dude.
No,
like,
they don't do that.
He's playing baseball.
He's a smart guy, and he knows his stuff, but he's also a gamer at heart. My favorite thing in the world was him in an interview with, I don't remember who it was. It didn't matter because all I knew is what he said. But he said something about being a huge Hexen fan and talking about because the question was about reviving a long dormant giant list of Activision, Sierra, you know, these old games that they own that they've just not done anything with. And he brought up Hexen in particular. And dude, I loved Hexen. If they bring that in, pull that into the freaking new Doom engine that they're running now, because that's all Hexen was back in the day. It was like a Doom mod, basically. Do that today, but with Hexen. Oh, shit. I get so excited about a new Hexen. I could barely handle it when I read that.
I mean, I get pretty reticent getting excited about anybody in a corporate structure, certainly because we've been burned recently, and because, you know, when you get to the position Phil's in, you know, your goal is to make money for the company. And I don't always trust that, if given that 2-button press scenario of make company money or release the Kraken, or prevent the Kraken from being released, I guess it would be, that he wouldn't just be like, well, we need to make money. Like, but at the same time, if he continues to practice what he preaches, which we've seen a lot of, then yeah, it's hard to argue with him.
Yeah.
Like, he has a lot of cool ideas when he talks. He has a lot of interesting, you know, philosophies about how the business should work. I want to believe, I guess is what I'm saying. I have a hard time believing in anybody in a suit, which is probably why he wears a t-shirt under a blazer.
Yeah, he always wears t-shirts and blazers.
I have a hard time believing suits have our best interests at heart, but I'd like to.
He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, I don't want to. I don't want to get in the business. I don't want to get in the business of like deifying anybody, but I think is the reason why there is a lot of cautious optimism right now about it, about this deal, about all of it. If this was Facebook buying them, we would not be having this kind of conversation. If this was some other, you know, skeevy effort from somebody else, we probably would not talk about it the way we are. We're doing this because they built up a lot of goodwill, especially in recent years. And the cultural issues, I mean, I don't want to say money takes care of anything, but a lot of that stuff can be a brute force effort to like clean ship, you know, to go in there and go, all right, well, here's what we're doing. At Microsoft, and someone in the chat mentioned it, Satya Nadella, who is Microsoft CEO, he had to come in after Ballmer and turn that place around because things were weird when Ballmer was there. And in very short order, that dude, I can't believe he did this, actually. Sometimes I think about it, it kind of blows my mind. Microsoft's money, most of their money and their amazing amount of wealth and deep pockets comes from Microsoft Windows when they sold Microsoft Windows. And you know what? Today, in 2022, and for quite a while now, you don't have to pay for Windows anymore. You just get it.
This enterprise does, though.
It's
right?
all enterprise stuff now, and it's all Azure and backend. Basically, they shifted from is this like saying Walmart makes all their money from, I don't know, whatever they do, toys, but then suddenly Do we, or do we make it all from beehives? Like they just made this switch that just went.
Well, that's the whole thing about McDonald's. Their money's made in real estate, not food.
Yeah, so I think
mean,
that's a sign that they've got a bit of, I hate the term trickle down, but there's a trickle down culture thing happening. I think Phil Spencer fits well in that culture, and his marching orders are to do to gaming what Satya Nadella did to everything else, and move things to the cloud. And I don't just mean cloud streaming. That's not what I'm not getting at. The bigger picture of move the services. It's not about that box under your TV.
It's virtual real estate. I mean, it's basically the tech version of what McDonald's strategy was.
Exactly.
For selling a solid, consistent product at cheap prices, but really the plan, where you're looking in the right hand, the left hand is doing the real business.
Mm-hmm. I think there's a bit of that. Yeah, I think there's a bit of that, and also I read a thing about the McDonald's thing you just mentioned, that one of the reasons that they are one of the few fast food companies that do a $15 base pay everywhere. They have a higher minimum wage than anywhere else, is because they have so much back end because of these holdings, and it had some. I read a whole thing, and it was kind of like what you were saying. Yeah. So and I'm not saying all good things coming from it. These
companies make money just from having money too, right? Like that, they spent the $68 billion, which presumably long term they'll make money, but like those monies sit in RIETs and stuff like that, like earning interest and earning dividends from various whatever funds. They're not just benignly sitting on money that's losing inflation every year. You know what I mean? Like whole companies can subsist or just profit. Maybe the business doesn't profit, but they profit from their holdings, and that's how they pay their employees and give dividends. Like it really, corporate stuff is so complex, and we're talking about one of the gigantic ones. Like
one of the biggest.
It's got it like the mind map or whatever that you would have to draw out to show all the different revenue streams, transactions, and all that it's got to be insane for any one of those companies. Like it's
you know who's really crazy? Apple hit their $3 trillion market cap about a week ago. Nobody's got money like that.
I feel like this. I don't know. It's science fiction-y, but like this. One of those companies is going to start a country at some point.
Oh, I love it. Sure. Wait. We got to do the thing
For sure.
Where is
if they don't already have puppet states, but like...
There you go. We got to do this right.
How many countries worth of GDP does a multinational company get before somebody at the top goes, you know what? We can do phones better. We can do telecommunications better. We can do government better.
Can you imagine if Apple decided to bring what they do,
they
think they do, in a lot of cases, to a country? Can you just imagine what that would look like?
I mean, call it Jobsland. You want a job? We got jobs at Jobsland, baby.
I love my Apple stuff, but I don't want to live in Apple country in the way you're describing it. It's easy to get dystopic about it.
I do for morbid curiosity alone.
Oh, I just want to visit. Yeah.
This is just like me staying in a job that I knew was toxic and bad until I got fired, but I did it because I was like, what's gonna happen next in here? Like, it was just, I couldn't wait to see what was around the corner, and I kind of would be the same way if Apple was like, we think we can do countries better than other people.
I mean, just how much money do you have to have?
I gotta know.
I don't know.
How much money do you have to have, or some conflict comes up where you're like, I can hire a private military to rival the country I'm in conflict with. I might as well be a country. Like some insane, someone... we've had insane dictators before. I imagine it's a matter of time before one emerges at the head of one of these companies. If they aren't already there, like I know FIFA was a has a very controversial leadership, at least according to some media a few years ago. No one's talking about it. Yeah. We talk about gaming companies, but like a lot of industries have a lot of money. And, we all joke that they're in bed anyways with lobbyists and stuff like that. It's like the prophylactic between government and giant corporation is so thin as it is. Just a bit more rubbing and we'll break a hole in it for sure.
Yeah, Adhesive Wombat in the chat says Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos both want to bring back company towns and stores. So this is like an old concept of, hey, the factory was everything in that town, and that included your grocery store, that included the church that got built and your family went to on Sundays, and the place you worked all week, and the retirement you took. And I mean, maybe they do. I don't know. I feel like they want to put their penises in space more than they want to do anything else. But I don't know. Like Bo.
I guess they did, right? Or,
yeah,
like,
well,
one of them did.
They're starting to.
I mean,
but,
it was in space, right?
Yeah,
Kirk certainly felt what that felt like.
Do I have that here? I had that handy.
Jeez. Oh, God.
Oh,
no.
Jesus.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah,
Oh,
that is,
Jesus.
That's so
Kirk,
good.
ask permission first, please.
Yeah, that's so good. Anyway, here's what else they acquire. Some of this is a little more nebulous. Some of it's real concrete. But anyway, they get all the iconic games that Activision currently makes, Blizzard and King as well. So Warcraft, Diablo, Overwatch, Call of Duty, Candy Crush, in addition to global esports activities through Major League Gaming. I mean, is Overwatch League still a league? Is it a thing? I don't follow it.
I've heard it's coming back, but I don't follow it either.
So they inherit whatever that is, and I guess they decide what they want to do. Do we end up with ClippyCon? Do we all go to Microsoft BlizzCon one day, or is
that? I mean, that's like their logos are going to be everywhere, right? Like
I assume. Well,
I don't
not
know
necessarily.
At what point in this conversation we're going to get to the part where I talk about how pissy I reacted to this.
Well, okay, so here's what I think.
Like,
this is the thing you got to pay attention. You got to look at a little bit of recent history. How did they handle Minecraft? Pretty well. They bought the thing for $1 billion. They sent Notch off into Moneyland, and they kept the game healthy, updated, new versions, cool ways to play it, different places to play it. And by the way, kept that in 100% cross-platform all over the place. They never pulled that from anybody, made it exclusive in those years. So I think that's a good indicator. And so far with the developers they purchased more recently, they give them a ton of leeway and workspace, just like Sony does with the studios they own, the 15 they own. They let them, they give them the money and the wherewithal to make what they're going to make, and then they go make it. I don't think that to me is not a negative in this thing, because you're not going to suddenly be like, it's Microsoft Warcraft, and it's just there in the logo. They're not doing that.
It's not going to be like that, but it's not going to, like, there's an indelible thing about Blizzard, and yes, they were owned by other companies long before,
forever before. They've never owned themselves. The public
conception was often that Activision was evil, and that the Blizzard guys had soul, and it was about our community and what we're doing. The more and more companies that put their hands in, like, am I going to feel like flying around the world for a Microsoft event? Like no, like the soul of it's going to be gone. Like, I just don't really feel that excitement, that palpable excitement of something organic.
That's because you bought into I don't mean this rude, because I did too. We bought into
because there was something. That's what I'm saying, is that to maybe rightly or wrongly, because we look back at it in retrospect and we're like, ooh, what's with all that rapey stuff? But that wasn't what it's about. But there was an excitement around Blizzard and their philosophies, whether we bought it hook, line, or sinker or not. I happen to think that was pretty real. I think there were definitely some people who were inspiring at that company in a way no other developer was. And I don't think Microsoft coming in and bringing their talent is going to, like, do anything positive for that. Like, I may still play Diablo 4,
disagree.
but I'm not like,
I 100% disagree.
I'm just not into it. Like, I heard this news and I'm like,
yeah,
I disagree with Bo, because I think two things are going to happen. One, I am a proponent of can't be worse. Like, as much as that's been said and touted by a lot of people lately, I do think it's true. Like, my opinion of Activision Blizzard is at the lowest it's ever been, and I don't think it, like, the level it would have to get to be worse would require so much more effort out of Microsoft to effectively make it worse that I don't think it's achievable. Yeah. I think they would screw it up trying that hard and somehow make it better. That's how bad my opinion of them is. Yeah. And getting rid of Bobby Kotick, getting rid of Bobby Kotick alone, which we're fairly certain is going to happen, is already a huge step up. Like, but more to that point, I think this is the reality. I think Bo is going to be the outlier with his thought, because I think people are going to react more in the let's just use World of Warcraft for an example. Next expansion 10.0 likely has been being worked on for a year now under Activision Blizzard.
Yeah.
And this might be a bad example because the timing it's coming up, but we're just going to use it as an example. So don't get too stuck in the nitty gritty of this. But likely has been being worked on under Activision Blizzard. But let's say it comes out under Microsoft's ownership. Same exact expansion, I think lands differently if it's good, even if it's bad, because the company's changed. I think people will be more likely to go, oh, the expansion's good. Guess Microsoft saved them. Thank goodness they came in and did this. Rather than if it was still Bobby in charge going, as you know, make me money, go out my flying monkey minions and make me money at all costs. Like, I think that change, whether it actually had any role in it or not, the perception is going to exist in players' minds of, finally, someone got in, got rid of that garbage, and now we can get good games from Blizzard again, or now we can get good games from Activision again. I think that's ultimately going to be the sway. Whether or not that's the practical reality, I think that's where people's heads are going to be.
I think Bo, and Bo, correct me if
hang on, I want to respond to it.
Yeah, go ahead.
This was, I agree with everything you said. So I feel like I'm either not explaining clearly what I'm saying, which I think it's on me for not explaining it. It's that Blizzard was an exciting company because the games they made, they were awesome, and because the momentum they had behind this community and esports was exciting. I feel that's I think that they will still release fun games. I will definitely be playing Overwatch 2 and Diablo 4. But that excitement they're not going to be able to bring that back. And that's what I mean is going to be gone. Like, the games will be good. There'll be people who like it. There'll be people who crap on it, whatever. Yeah. But like that point in history where it's like Blizzard, wow, like a company that's super into gameplay polish and mechanics, they're going to market on that for sure. But I think that era is done. And I think Microsoft buying it is like, it's not, the great gameplay first Microsoft is coming to save it and bring it. I was like, and you know, even just some stuff like this whole ABK, not protests, but you know, the walkouts and the union issues, like, it's Phil Spencer's gonna, like, Phil Spencer and company did a great thing for their products and services. They are not like solving all the issues that come up. Like, of course, I'm sure it'll improve under them, but like, I'm not sold on any of this. Like, I don't feel happy at all. I'm not maybe mad, but I'm like, this is like good for Microsoft, pretty much. Like, I don't think it's good for me. And I'm not particularly excited about what they bring to the ABK folder or vice versa. So I think that's more what I'm driving at, is like, this doesn't excite me about Blizzard and Blizzard products, which is, you know, we played Heroes of the Storm. It's what I like. I don't feel any differently than I did yesterday about the treatment of HGC or, you know, the general tenor of how they failed in that direction. And I don't think we'll continue on. I mean, that might change, but I still think
I get it. I don't think Microsoft was never going to come back and fix that. That Blizzard did that to themselves any more than Davidson and Associates did in 1994, or Vivendi did in 1998, or Activision in 2008. And Microsoft here in 2022 is probably not going to be able to solve that, because again, we were buying into a myth more than we were a reality. Then the reality was they made amazing games and had amazing creativity and really cool stuff coming out of there. The myth was that it was anything other than a business that Davidson, Vivendi, and Activision needed to make money from. They've never owned themselves. Like, that's the one misconception people have about Blizzard. They've never once been, we own our own company and now we're going to sell off to somebody. It's always been somebody else's money. And Microsoft coming in isn't going to solve their cultural problems right away, but I think they'll have the power to at least get creativity back in the forefront again and let them do what they do best. Get out of the way and let them make awesome games. That's what I think they're going to do. I don't think they're going to come in and say, well, here's what we'd do if we were you. I don't think that's the plan. The plan is to move out the garbage, get this lawsuit solved, and get it done right, hopefully, by all the people affected. No one's going to be satisfied with Bobby Kotick walking away with a giant truck of money, ever. But I feel like that ship has sailed, and it can only go up from here. Because when you paint yourself as the Jesus company for so long, and then it turns out what was really happening behind the scenes was not at all like that, and most of it was just a play to maintain that because it made you more money to maintain that, I don't I don't see how Microsoft makes that any worse.
Yeah, I think Bo said it really well when he mentioned like it's not going to recapture magic. I think that's true, and I do agree with that part. I think kind of going off of what both of you were saying, I think what Microsoft is going to do, they are not going to fix Blizzard, or we're talking more specifically about Blizzard here because that's our history. That's what we care about. None of us are big Call of Duty fans. Might play it, but it's not going to change our world.
Right.
So just speaking about Blizzard for the moment, I don't think Microsoft is going to come in and fix Blizzard and put the magic back. What I do think Microsoft stands to do, and seems likely that they will do, is enable Blizzard to recapture that or attempt to recapture that. Whether or not that can be done, they have to prove that. The people in that company do. Mm-hmm. It's not going to be Microsoft, and it's not their job either. Even acquiring them, it's not Microsoft's job to go, okay, well, you bought us, recapture the magic. It's on their development teams and the people making the games to do that.
Yeah.
Microsoft's job is to clean house and get them in a place where they can save themselves, because clearly, especially, we had the Overwatch 2 producer. I can't remember her name, but she was putting Bobby Kotick on blast, basically accusing him, who don't know if it's true or not, but I would imagine a producer on the game has a pretty clear idea, saying that basically Bobby was directly responsible for delays and problems in Overwatch 1, for the delay in Overwatch 2, and had a direct hand in many of the issues the team had internally. Like, if he's gone, that alone is what I mean by enabling Blizzard to be able to attempt something and possibly recapture magic. Doesn't mean they will. It isn't a guarantee. But I do think they might provide them a path to success if it's one that they can walk down.
Yeah, I think I agree with that too, and I think we're all actually kind of making points in the same direction. I still, it's like trauma a little bit. None of us have fully dealt with the blow that it was to see Blizzard not be the Blizzard you thought they were, and even if other signs were there, like big talent leaving and leadership leaving and under weird circumstances, and then you'd hear rumors internally and that sort of thing, but
I'd like to more about the redacted stuff in that lawsuit for sure.
Yeah, I would too.
We only heard about Alex Afrasiabi.
Yeah, they only brought him up.
There were
in
10 other ones, I think, in there or something like that.
Yeah, it's got to be an ugly. I'm sure that's coming. Well, eventually, I assume. I don't know why that stuff would stay sealed if they're going to actually end up in court or something. But anyway, the point is, I don't think anybody sees Microsoft as a savior of this particular issue. I think I see them as, well, Bloomberg's reporting that employees are also very cautiously optimistic and feel very strongly about if Bobby leaves, that's a huge step in the right direction, and that they feel like their creativity is going to get a boost because it's no longer, Bobby Kotick saying, we got to do this and this and this. Oh, you're now we have to delay Overwatch 2 because I said to do these things. Well, don't worry. I'll get on CNBC and tell everybody that the reason that our stock sucks is because of the delay of Overwatch 2, even though I was the reason the thing got delayed. But I won't tell you that part. And like that stuff all coming out really, really burns my cheese. But I think that will go a long way to say, hey, new leadership. And some of the fine folks that have been with you forever, they're your new leaders. You know them already. You trust them. Sweet. Let's do this. Now you've got all the money on the planet to make amazing content. Go. What would Blizzard want more? That's what I'd want.
A lot of their top tier talent gone by this point. If they didn't survive the scandal and they didn't survive, departures of Morheim and the power struggle that was surely behind that, and just these reportedly Kotick delaying things, I'm sure also
bring some back.
How much talent is left even after this? You know what I'm saying? Maybe I don't know what the developers would feel if they're enthusiastic about a Microsoft purchase or not. Maybe that would embolden them, but I almost think it's, you know what I mean? Are they buying the talent more than the IP? You know what I mean? If that makes sense, because Microsoft could now give StarCraft to another company to do, right? They would be through the rights to say hey, Bethesda, go make a StarCraft game.
Mm-hmm. They do it like Riot did with that RPG they put out.
Do they need Blizzard to make Blizzard games now? That's something we have to find out. Will it even get preserved? in that way.
Yeah. Like right now, it's all gardened in, but why does it need to be? Why don't these mobile projects just happen? Because you've got King on your side. Let them do it, even if they're not perfect. Fine, whatever. But the main thing I would hope is, speaking of your loss of talent or your point about loss of talent, sure, a bunch of people left. Some of those people at this news with this knowledge might come right back. Like, it doesn't mean they're permanently gone. I'm not saying they'll come back either, but I know that there's a lot of people from that StarCraft team that worked on that shooter that got shelved.
Yeah, Dustin Browder left.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if Browder could be lured back.
The rumor was, I don't know if it was ever confirmed, but I saw some developers, not Dustin, bitch about it on Twitter, like basically effectively quitting because they shit canned the StarCraft shooter.
Yeah, he worked his guts out on that thing.
Maybe people would come back if they would agree to work. Like, I guess that's what I'm waiting to see. Like, the developers we know from Blizzard that are still working in the industry, are they interested in coming back? Is Mike interested in coming back? Like, I
doubt that.
I doubt it too. But he did leave his billion, 67 billion. Like, he was at the head of a significant portion of running ABK, right? The Blizzard stuff, and left to go start another game company. And you just ask him, like, couldn't he just make his own little game like, what were the circumstances that necessitated him leaving and poaching a lot of top talent to start his own studio again, and whatever that's going to be.
That's what I'm saying, is that's a huge investment for him, and that's why I don't think he would want to change that. But there's nothing that says that he couldn't become a subsidiary in the way that who is Vicarious Visions.
Dreamhaven to Microsoft too. Why not?
Well, yeah, why not? But even if they don't, like, if they're just treated as, well, Vicarious, I guess, is now actually owned by Activision Blizzard. But
the point I'm trying to make is I'm waiting. It's not our reaction, I think, that matters to the Xbox sales. I'm looking to see what the reactions or the career moves are of people who maybe left and go back. Because if anyone that leaves and goes back, that might be a very good sign. I would take that as a very good sign of things.
Yeah, I would too. We'll have to watch for that. So let's speculate for a second here. Where is it? Here's my list. I just spitballed a few ideas here, but we talked about culture and harassment issues. Maybe those get addressed and fixed. If I know that's a priority for
said
Microsoft.
As much. Did you watch that interview that?
I did. It was good.
Yeah, I mean, they asked Bobby point blank about the sexual harassment issues, and he gave his rehearsed Trumpian answer.
Yeah,
but Phil definitely came out and said they're committed to helping culture and stuff. I mean, yeah, one would hope
they have to, or else why'd you buy this? You have to.
Again, I find myself so Jason Schreier, I don't think is exactly looking into Microsoft. I mean, who the hell knows if this is a problem at Microsoft or not? We didn't know about the sale. I'm sure there are all kinds of complaints and problems nobody even cares about. Like, gaming companies have a special place where we're prying into their crunch and all that kind of stuff, probably because the work practices are bad and the employees there are leaking it to the press. But like, my assumption would be that Microsoft was a more responsible corporate citizen, but it is an assumption.
Yeah, and there's always going to be cases that are outliers anywhere. It doesn't matter how good you got it trapped down. Some douche joins a team and ruins things for everybody else. So that's not like, I don't think they're making those claims. I don't think, again, there's no deification going on here. They're just, they are what they are, but they don't want to, like, if I bought a car and said, all right, I'm buying this car. Well, just so you know, there's puke all over the back seats. Well, all right, I'm still buying the car. Now, once I get the car, I'm going to clean those seats. Nobody buys that car and keeps driving it with the puke back there. You're going to clean them. So that's
getting the seats clean was a condition of the purchase. And one thing that did come out as a news story and almost would have been a news story on this show, had this not been a much bigger news story, is that Activision Blizzard just fired and fired and punished in some way a large number of employees as a part of this ongoing crackdown on harassment and stuff like that.
Right.
So those could even be those could even be parts of Chat says execute. Yes, they killed them.
Executed.
And then they just straight up murdered him. They went too far.
Take him out back.
But the point is like that could be a sign that they said, hey, we're looking at your details here. We want these people gone as part of our purchase agreement.
Yeah.
It could be. Don't know. That is
We don't know.
100% speculation.
We don't know.
It could also be that once Microsoft takes over, much like Bobby, a lot of these people are gone.
Yeah, and clean the puke from your back seats. What I'm saying. That's what I'm getting at. Even if it's just a car and not a metaphor. If you have a car with puke in the back, get it out. Just take it down to the 1A wash and slosh and get it done. All right. Here's some other ones. Excitement for more creative freedom under Xbox and the studios. Smaller games, more chances you can take, more creative opportunities. That seems to be on the at least the leaked employee comments about are a lot of that. Like, ooh, we're actually really excited about this because this means we can get out of all this.
A lot of buzz about, I guess, a memo got out inviting a bunch of employees to accessibility programs that Microsoft has for making their games more accessible to various types of gamers out there. And I've seen a lot of people who work at Blizzard tweeting about how excited they are to join it, and that was a very good sign to be greeted to following all of this. So when they're excited, I'm excited, because when they're excited and happy, it usually means better games. For us.
Yeah, and also I like it if a developer can be in an environment where they can just build the cool shit they have vision for. I think that benefits everybody. That'll benefit the bottom line. It'll benefit us as players. It'll benefit those employees as they're doing what they're passionate about. For them, it isn't about walking away with $400 million. For them, it's about launching an awesome game that they had a hand in. I don't know how that's bad. How is that bad ever? That seems good. Like, I don't think money's the answer to everything, but sometimes when somebody comes in, just flushes you with it and says, all right, make what you're going to make. You have to be accountable. You have to make this, you can't just dink around all day, but here you go. No longer are you stressed out about, well, my StarCraft project that you had me on for 3 years gets canceled. Or you don't have to stress about the Titan issues they had back in the day. I'm telling you, that was a hell of a turning point. We're never going to hear about it, but there's shit that happened during that Titan thing. There could be whole books written, I think, based on only a few things I know. Fear of layoffs, that's possible. So there is that. That usually happens on the sort of trim the fat side of things. So they decide, wait, why do we have 400 social media managers? Let's cut that down to 200, that sort of thing. Call of Duty could ditch the yearly release schedule. That could be interesting.
That's possible. That was definitely one of Bobby's initiatives, was hitting something every year until it's dead. That was
just pound it.
Guitar Hero, Call of Duty. What was another one he killed? There was a few. There's a few that he ran into the ground till it stopped existing.
Skylanders.
Call of Duty kept going.
Yeah, Skylanders was one. You could argue the Tony Hawk stuff.
Tony Hawk was one.
Yeah.
They keep making them till they stop making them.
Yeah. That's a good one.
And he admitted he did it. That was when gamers initially didn't like Bobby. That was when that all started. Was he came out and he was like, yeah, we're going to run these franchises into the ground. You're going to get one every year until people stop buying it, and then we kill it. Like, he said as much.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm a businessman. I don't give a shit about your stupid hobby. I'm going to make money. And he did. And he was extremely successful, and we're all excited that he's going to be going. So
yeah, it's pretty crazy. More here.
Funny to talk that way and still be successful.
I know, it's weird, right? I mean, I kind of, in a weird way, I kind of would prefer they say the quiet part loud more often, but it does strike me as it's just so tone deaf to the people that are paying the money.
Are bad. Why do you keep doing it? And it's like, well, I'm addicted.
Yeah, like, well, here, I'm going to keep dealing heroin to that schoolyard until all those kids die. That's kind of what he says.
Yeah, I mean, he's just like, well, as a gamer, if you like Call of Duty and the guy who makes Call of Duty is like, yeah, I'm just making new ones until you guys get sick of it. I don't really care about the gameplay. Like, I'm going to buy Call of Duty anyway.
Omega 9X in the chat says it really well. It says, well, aside from the rape and death threats, he was a really good guy.
Yeah.
It's terrible, but kind of true. All right, here's the another one. Oh, Warcraft could end up on everything. Maybe finally get some console versions of that game. Console MMOs do pretty good. ESO and Final Fantasy did quite well on the consoles. I don't see
console Heroes probably.
Oh, that's the big question. Do they revitalize Heroes? Is Tony Hawk tearing down center lane in a match of Heroes of the Storm? Well, forget about that. Is Heroes of the Storm?
Hawk,
do they come in and do they revitalize that?
I don't think so.
I just feel like it's a game that's still running that they could throw as a value add on the console if they just give a team of people the ability to like look at Pokemon Unite, like just copy the control schema. Look at Wild Rift, like it's definitely doable.
Yeah.
Just all they got to do is keep the existing game, get it to run on the Xbox hardware, put a controller map in it. You're good.
I'm going to make a prediction. If this goes through, and they may not say it until it does, okay, but when this deal goes through, the team leads for Heroes of the Storm will do a special blue post. And that blue post will say, "We're thrilled to announce that the team has been injected with fresh new talent and money, and we are taking Heroes of the Storm to the next level." It may not be HTC back or any of that, but they are going to try to actually give proper, true devotion of time, respect, and talent to that game. That's my prediction.
I want to believe that. I mean, I want to
be
support your
nice.
prediction, but I don't think it's going to happen.
I don't either, but I want
I
it
think
to.
the sad reality is, despite all the tinfoil hat wearers out there, that Microsoft is going to actually be fairly hands-off on things.
Yeah.
And as much as it's fun to think about Master Chief and Heroes of the Storm, it's just we're not going to have Chief popping up in all our favorite games.
No.
I just don't think it's going to happen.
No,
Yeah, you
probably
want to buy
not.
the Xbox bundle? I mean, there's an Xbox bundle in Sea of Thieves. Like you can walk around with the gaudiest, stupidest looking boat that is Xbox thing. It is, and it's. I got it because I have it on Game Pass or whatever.
Yeah.
It's awful. It's terrible. And like I think Ryan Murphy, we were playing with him. He put it up, and we all made fun of him until he took it down. Like you like that corporate shit? This pirate game. Take that Xbox crap off. Like
Yeah.
it's awful.
Takes you out of the moment a little bit.
I don't know if it was Ryan Murphy or not, but it was probably. I think
People
so.
love their
Somebody put
skins,
it up.
man. People love their skins. They do whatever they got to do to get their skins. I
I'm
also
just saying.
here's the one thing I think is 100% going to happen because they've already done this across other stuff they own. Blizzard games end up on Steam and Epic on PC. So speaking just strictly the PC audience,
That could happen.
Blizzard games will end up on Steam and Epic. They'll also be part of Game Pass PC. I don't know about old ones.
Steam? Wow.
Oh hell yeah, dude! Halo's on Steam. Freaking Gears of War is on. All that Microsoft stuff's on Steam. Why wouldn't they do it? Of course
That
they would.
could
Does
happen.
it feel have any respect for the sort of boutique exclusivity of Blizzard games? Like nobody.
No.
I think that died when they put Call of Duty on the Blizzard.
Yeah, pretty
launcher.
much. Yeah, it all went downhill from there. That's what I'm saying. I'm not
Stop being
excited
a
about
boutique.
this.
When
I liked the fact that there was a silo around Blizzard games. That they did fewer games with more quality. It spoke to me. And now that they're just like every other company, it's like
It spoke
so
to me too,
unexciting
but
to me.
the change didn't happen with this announcement. The change happened.
I know
It corroded
I know. I'm not
internally.
saying it's this announcement, but it's just further down the wrong path. The ideal outcome would be we're taking the Activision and other shit off the BattleNet launcher. We're hiring people. We want this company in our portfolio of games to be the Banana Republic of game companies. So you go here for premier
Honestly,
special PC experiences.
I could see that too. Like there is
That
a
happens,
huge
I'll be
question
very
of what
sold.
happens with BattleNet, and it's a good question. And this isn't on our list to talk about, but it's something that I've been asked about by almost everybody that has talked to me about this. So if I have Game Pass, do I get my WoW subscription now? I'm gonna plant my flag right now and say no, absolutely not. It is not going to cover your WoW subscription. I think you are still going
It would decrease
to pay a
WoW's
WoW
revenue so
Oh.
much.
No,
No,
why
that
would they
was
do that? We already
subscription.
had this discussion about ESO. They own one of the top MMOs already, and they're not doing that. You still
Yeah.
either pay or buy
We-
or whatever. So
We literally have an example. We have plenty of examples of what Microsoft does when it owns things. It exists. We don't necessarily have to speculate. And you can turn around and you can say, because this is what I got when I said that, but ESO is free to play. It's different with WoW. Yeah, sure, but it's not going to matter. Like, we know what they do. They let Ubisoft sell their subscription to their service on Game Pass. They let Elder Scrolls sell their subscription on Game Pass. I think if Game Pass has any impact whatsoever on World of Warcraft, maybe, strong maybe, you get the base level WoW expansions for free when they come out.
I could see that.
Maybe.
That's what you get. That's what you get on Game Pass with ESO. But if you want anything newer than that, like a new expansion or whatever, you're paying $49 for it. Like that's just how it is. If you're on console, PC, it doesn't matter. So I'm not saying they won't possibly ultimately change that, but they haven't shown any inclination to do it before. Why would they? These are revenue models that already work. So why would you? And in WoW's case, would I like that? Yeah, but they're not going to do that. That's not going to happen. I promise you. It may be on Game Pass. You'll still need to sub to it, though. And here's the other thing. One other guy was like all mad at me. He's like, well, this will signal the end, Blizzard's end of Mac compatibility with their games. I don't know about you, but I'm old enough to remember the last game they published that was Mac ready, and it was Heroes of the Storm in 2014. Prior to that, Diablo in 2012. Since then, I mean, those are still maintained in compatibility. They still work there. But they don't put games on Macs anymore. 4 has already been confirmed to be not on a Mac. Overwatch 1, not on a Mac. 2 will definitely not be on a Mac. All my Mac people listening, it ain't happening. I feel you, because I got a Mac too, and I love it. But they're just not gaming boxes. They just aren't. So stream. I can stream Game Pass real well on a Mac. It's awesome. That's what they'll do. Mac players will play that way. Anyway, what else?
That reminds me, I got to unsub from NVIDIA GeForce.
I would be curious about BattleNet, though. That's the one area that seems gray to me. Because I can see them keeping BattleNet as a home for Blizzard games. BattleNet works really well. I mean, there's a reason that we were playing other multiplayer games on Steam, and we were using the BattleNet client for chat.
Yeah, we were.
Like, it works well. And I can see a case being made where they say, hey, let's not mess with something that's working well.
I think
can
they
also
keep
see
it.
them saying, this is a redundant thing. We don't need it. Let's get rid of it and put these games on Steam.
Yeah.
I can see it going either way. So forget the WoW subscription. I'm 100% certain on my opinion on that. BattleNet and the future of that and the stores and all of that, that's where I'm like, I don't know what it turns out.
I think
I don't know what it looks like.
Most people are using Discord these days. That's a huge part of the market uses Discord for all their communication stuff in games. Microsoft tried to buy Discord. Discord said we're not really for sale, so come back later maybe. I think that they probably don't care about those features on BattleNet. However, I don't see why they wouldn't just have it on BattleNet, but then everywhere else too. That seems to be what they're doing. So they're like, hey, you want to play Halo Infinite on Game Pass? Here it is day one. You're already paying. Go play. But they're also, it's on Steam. It's on Epic. It's on everything else except a PlayStation because Sony won't have it. But you can have it everywhere else. Maybe they'd just be the same hands off with that and just say, well, let the BattleNet thing live and breathe in its weird community. And then you can also get Diablo 4 over here on Steam, or you can get it on Game Pass day one on the Xbox player or PC thing, or the console versions of the game or whatever. Maybe they just keep it up there.
Yeah.
You know?
And chat points out, Retrius says, Game Pass for PC already kind of like that. You have to download the EA client if you want to play the EA games. Same for Ubisoft today with Extraction. You have to download the Ubisoft client, so there's no reason to get rid of the Battle.net launcher. That's sort of true. The one reason that I think it's murky and not super clear-cut is that they don't own those other companies.
Yeah.
They would own the company that the Battle.net launcher is on. And it is very easy to have them turn around and go, well, why are we supporting this thing that we own and control and having to continue to put out there?
Yeah.
So that's where it gets a little harder to say one way or another. But yes, there are launchers that pull up when you use Game Pass on the PC.
Also, I just don't know why the launcher is so sacrosanct to people. I mean, it does signal that this is a closed ecosystem. But I heard nothing but complaints when Destiny 2 and Call of Duty migrated there and went away from went away from Steam and everything. People were pissed. They're like, I don't want to use the Battle.net launcher. It was like the opposite sentiment. So I don't know why we give that much of a crap. It's this weird symbol of I don't know, of independence, I guess. It's like, that's the Blizzard place, and it can and they can do that because they're Blizzard or whatever. But at the end of the day, if you really think about it, it's like, well, who cares? You get your games where you get your games. Make it so I can get them anywhere I want to get them, and why mess with this? Like, but our special little play. It's not that special. It's a launcher.
I agree. I tell you what you do. You take the people who do the Battle.net client and you incorporate them into whoever does your Xbox app, because there's definitely room for improvement.
100%.
And I think the Battle.net launcher is actually pretty decent. And you keep the jobs there, and then yes, you put WoW on Steam, all the Blizzard games on Steam. You put it on your Game Pass app, and you go with that.
Yeah,
that's my personal take. I'm not super precious about Battle.net continuing to exist. People already got mad when Battle.net became a launcher to begin with.
I remember that.
So people that are precious about the launcher, okay, well, everybody's precious about something until they're not.
I know. It's all about how long your memory is in this business. And I remember people losing their minds when Steam launched and were so pissed they could barely see. That's all changed now. In fact, I have a friend. His name is Brian Dunaway, co-host of many shows with me. Listen to what he said. This is actual audio from 2004, okay, which was the launch day or the launch era-ish of Steam. And this is what he said.
I don't like Steam.
That's actual audio from then. Here's audio from last year.
I love Steam.
He loves Steam now.
I love how it's almost the exact same cadence.
Yeah.
He almost matched it verbatim. I love it.
Yeah. He didn't like Steam.
That was me
he
too.
loved Steam.
I hated Steam when it first came out. I was like, why do I have to do this? This doesn't make any sense. I just want to play Half-Life 2. I put the disc in and you're making me do a bunch of stuff I don't want to do.
Yep. Yeah.
I think that you're underselling it. I think launchers are pretty important, to be honest with you. Like, if you're part of an ecosystem of information being given to you, the way that information's structured and organized matters. Like, Facebook was all right when I could see chronologically what the people I was friends with were using, and then once they started manipulating it, it started to suck, and it sucks the more they mess with the sauce. And I think launchers are like that. At least for me, they're like that. When a launcher's in a good state, I'm happy. It's just got only relevant information, structured and organized in a nice way that makes it pleasant to navigate.
Sure.
And then when it becomes a marketing assault on my senses, or it's everything in the kitchen sink, or like even Steam used to be a lot better. Like the Steam, I find the store is like spam almost at this point, but a few years ago it was quite good. Like, they ruin things. Like, things are in a good state, and tech companies can't just stay static, apparently.
Yeah, but see,
they
did that.
They gotta ruin them.
But they did that to your precious BattleNet. They came in there and said, "Hey, Destiny, Call of Duty," and they ruined it. So who cares now? They ruined it.
BattleNet was a nice way to organize my Blizzard icons, and I cared because it mattered to me.
Well, yeah,
and
but
now
my
Blizzard information was, and now I've got to deal with Call of Duty.
Yeah,
and,
so
and I don't like it. Like, it's my feeling, so it's not an objective truth, but.
Yeah,
I hate it.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying is F that thing and have it go away and just put this shit on Steam. Like, everybody's using Steam. Like, that's just, may as well just have that. Like, I don't even care. I think I'm just on board with Microsoft's overall thing, which is just put all this shit everywhere. Put it on everything. Let everybody play where they want to play. And maybe that means keeping that launcher up. I don't know.
Man,
we'll
can you imagine Bo's face when he logs in and the free game on Epic for the month is World of Warcraft?
It could be, or like Overwatch or something, or StarCraft. Could it end up being on Epic? Does Microsoft have Epic properties?
Yeah, they've got stuff on Epic.
Microsoft?
Yeah, they have games over there. So
Epic Game Store, what a shit show that
is. Bo's thinking about it. I feel like we watched the thought go through his head.
Yeah.
I feel like I saw just a little twitch.
I picture the launcher in my brain, and I'm like, it's so awful. It's so gross.
It's not great, but there are some people who see that as their ecosystem, so they feel the way
about
it.
Part of it is what you're used to, right? So but
yeah. Fortnite WoW skins. Stop. The chat room's killing me.
Oh, get your Sylvanas skin by logging in today.
Oh shit, I'm playing Fortnite again.
Yeah,
they got me. They always find a way to get me. They're like, I'm like, nah, I'm never gonna play it again. They're like, you like the Boba Fett? I'm like, shit.
They have lots of ways of getting me into it. They do a thing like that, and I go in, and then I go, oh yeah, there's people building shit, and I hate it, and I get out. So I like it until I don't. That game. F it.
I thought I was going to get into Fortnite again because my stepson plays it, and I was watching him play, and I was like, maybe the secret is playing it on console because he's not very good, and he keeps winning and getting like victory royales. And I'm like, he's winning. I'm better at this game than he is.
Yeah.
Much better.
Yeah.
I could get in and do this. And I was like, people don't even seem to build anymore. Like, I can play this game, and I'm watching him like stare down somebody, and they're both just doing like this action at each other. And then eventually he kills them. I'm like, holy shit, I would be amazing at Fortnite now. Maybe all the good people just went on to other games. And then I found out like 2 days ago, he's been playing against bots.
Oh,
and he's not actually playing against other people. And that I'd still probably get smoked if I tried.
That's funny. That's very funny. This will seem kind of petty, but hold on. Let me go through this exercise. So I'm going to grab this. Hold on. This is why I don't like... the minute I see this in a stream or a video of anything to do with Fortnite, I turn it off. And that's what it is. Pretend this is a weapon. Okay? and I'm to pretend I'm actually my back is facing you in third person. I can't turn that way because my headphones will pop out. But basically this. You see it?
Oh, is that the building? Is that the building?
The rapid weapon switching.
Yeah,
people
the constant
just scrolling through their weapons very fast.
It makes me want to kill somebody. I hate it. Hate it. It's like jumping in the old Counter-Strike. Made me want to die just watching people do it. So there's the building and then there's the weapon swapping. F those guys. Hate that game. All right, moving on. I said it was petty. I told you guys at the top it was petty. All right, so don't come at me. All right, we are actually going to talk about a couple other things real quick. I really like this story. Former XCOM and Civ devs are forming a turn-based strategy studio called BitReactor. Hey, look at that. No, Microsoft's not buying them. Not yet, anyway. What do you guys think? You excited for more turn-based, what's the word?
Take-Two that owns Firaxis, right?
Yeah. Take-Two owns, yes, they own the XCOM property and Civ as well.
You had me at turn-based. Like, usually once you say that my old man brain doesn't have to work any harder, I'm like, great. Yeah. I don't have to move quickly. I can play this game.
Yeah. I wonder if, let's see, I was trying to see if there was somebody worked on Enemy Unknown. Yeah, I was trying to see what names we had. But I find that exciting because I think that some of that stuff's the best stuff ever. So
if you look at that quote down below, that's a pretty big thing that they're saying. Just scroll down a little bit. I'm looking at it on the stream, but it's like they're looking to go head to head with Halo.
Oh yeah, here it is. Game of the Year title. We expect to go head to head with Halo, whoever's out there, just like we did in 2012 with XCOM Enemy Unknown.
So it's not like, we split off and we're doing our own indie group. Like sounds like they're going to try for some AAA releases in the strategy genre, because it's true. Like first person shooters, but like there's all these, flash in the pan things, but not flash in the pan, but what is it? Cream of the month.
Yep. Sign me up for the cream of the month club.
There's all these cream of the month things, and I'm just like, give me my AAA strategy games. I play so many indie strategy games, and they're great, but I wouldn't mind extra cream in my strategy.
Yeah, no, I get you. By the way, our new title today is episode 2898, Cream of the Month Club. That's happening. No, I know what you mean.
Flavor of the month is what
flavor. That's what you mean.
I'm not rich, but I am the inventor of the Cream of the Month Club.
You might be rich.
Not only
if
am
you're
I the president, I'm a client too.
But that, like you guys tell me if I'm wrong, but I feel like Civ to some degree, but definitely XCOM revitalized turn-based games in a massive way, like made them front center stage.
The new XCOMs are so great.
Yeah.
They aren't joking when they say XCOM Enemy Unknown was in the discussion for Game of the Year stuff. Like it won for a lot of people
it was
that
awesome.
year. And that's crazy for turn-based, but it was that good. And if that's what they're targeting for whatever, I'm excited because XCOM's pretty damn good.
XCOM is very good. So keep your eyes on that, everybody. We'll talk more about it as we get closer. It's time for a Dear Martha review. Now, I don't know if you guys noticed, God of War is reviewing very well on PC for lots of reasons. It's done well, but also most people I've talked to are like, this is a better version of the game than PlayStation has seen, including the PS5 uptick one. And that's a big deal to say that because that game's gorgeous on a crap first-gen PS4. Sounds like PC version's very well done. So John went and found a Steam review for God of War on the PC, and he's going to share it with us now. John, anything special here? Just the normal deal?
I mean, if you have the Russian one, I'm reading it again, and it would probably work better as a Dear Mark.
I do have that. I do have that. So here it is. Enjoy.
My dearest Martia, I present to you review for God of War PC release. Martia, I would not recommend this garbage. Horrible garbage. I am waiting for Elden Ring instead, because From Software made it. From Software are good, and they make good games, such as Dark Souls 3, which is a good game. They are good because From Software made them. This wasn't made by From Software. 2 out of 10, good graphics. Yours in this life and the next, cheek.
All right. That may be one of my favorites you've done because it captured what I hate about those reviews. I hate when people they're like fanboys of something and it doesn't matter what. I mean, I guess he bought the game because you can't review it without owning it, right?
Was it on Steam or Metacritic?
Steam.
Did he return it?
No.
Okay.
That one was clearly a joke review, to be clear, but as I was looking for reviews for the new God of War, I was shocked by the amount of reviews that were just people going, "Where's Bloodborne?"
Yeah.
Huh?
Isn't that weird?
Why? When are you going to put Bloodborne on Steam, Sony?
Yeah, that's weird. I think Bloodborne deserves to get ported, but I don't know why people have to be so damn weird about it.
It's just, this is what happens when you don't have standards. Like when you write a review, you have a job to do, which is to review the game on some merits of commonality between other games to decide if someone should play it or not, or to give someone an idea of whether they should play it. But of course, anyone can write a review, so you get well, it is an Elden Ring. So.
Yeah, you're totally right. You're absolutely right. I kind of do want to check out Elden Ring. I want to see if Elden Ring scratches my...
Even though you don't like those games?
I don't like Souls-likes, but...
I'll admit to getting swept up a bit in the Elden Ring hype as well.
Yeah, there's something going on there. I can't kind of put my finger on it. Something about the look of it or the... I don't know.
I'm hearing people say, and this could be complete conjecture, it's just random commentary on the internet. It's like Dark Breath of the Wild. Like open world.
That sounds good.
Open world.
But I do like those
tough
games,
Dark Souls
so
style.
Even more
and
exciting.
It's a new IP, so if it's... I mean, we'll find out soon enough, right?
If it's a little less punishing and makes me feel like I don't have to redo everything every time I die, then maybe I'm in. Just give me a slightly easier experience.
You don't have to redo everything, Scott. You just have to be good enough to hit the checkpoints.
Yeah, but the checkpoints in those other games are a million miles apart. I freaking hate it.
Like Scott's...
You know how bad I hate those. I freaking hate those.
You have to be good enough. It's not because
you just have to not be bad.
Yeah, you have to be better at this video game.
Yeah.
I don't want to play that. All right, so there's that. Well done, as always. It's now time to talk about the games we played. I'll start with a couple of weird things that happened to me. So I'll actually start in reverse order here. I ended up playing Papers, Please for hours. And you might say, Scott, that game came out in 2012. What are you doing? Yeah, it did. It's one of the greatest. It's one of the greatest games ever made. It's so good, and I always forget how much I love it until I play it again. It might be. I don't know this for sure. This might be the seed of my chorecore desire, because at the end of the day in that game, there's lots of thematic stuff happening. There is a story, and there's lots of moral choices, and there's things happening that are more than just doing the work. But at the end of the day, I keep saying that, the way that game works is the mechanics of it is you're doing work. You're pulling somebody's passport and checking the information against the other sheet of paper you have to use because there was a bombing 2 days ago, and now I don't know if their birthdays match, and you're double checking, and then you're stamping approved or disapproved, or a guy came from some hacker group and slipped you a weird piece of paper and you don't know what to do with it, but it's still a piece of paper. I still have to look at and read it. Okay, compare it to this. That's what that dude makes, is games that are work, but somehow it's fun. And it might be
I own this.
Proto Chorecore. Have you never played that game? Oh,
no. I was like, we can wishlist it so I can buy it later, and it's it's already in your Steam library.
You should play that game.
I'm going to install it. It's only 58 megabytes.
Yeah, it's tiny.
It's what I wish more Chorecore games were, which is I like the mundane nature at a base level, but then put some twists on it, which is what it does. And I know there's another game, somebody in I think Discord or something was messaging me saying they wanted you to play it, where it's you work in a morgue. And it's you're doing morgue work as a Chorecore game, but then scary shit starts happening.
Oh, that sounds like a fun thing to stream. So is it?
Yep, they want you to play it really badly.
Well, is it I
think it might even be Badger Lord who is responsible for many of your Resident
Evil. Oh, he is. He's usually all over it. So I don't know what the name of that would be. I looked at something called Beyond and Beyond 2. There's a third coming out soon. Those are similar.
I think I have it. Let me just.
Yeah, if you can get that name, that'd be cool. But
yeah, that twist on the Chorecore formula I think is really neat. House flipper, but you're going into famous houses or something like that, or when the Viscera cleanup crew is clearly inspired by a movie or something like that. I think those sorts of things are just really, really cool to
I
me.
agree. I think that's why Shipbreaker works for me so much. It's this there's a purpose to what I'm doing beyond just the mechanics of it. There's a bigger picture. It's set in a universe I could never really be in, that sort of thing. Papers,
Okay,
Please
I
is a
got
lot
it.
like that. Yeah.
I got it.
Bo, you should play Papers,
so
Please.
it was actually from
Yeah, I'm
Tweet
downloading
is who sent it,
Uh-huh.
and the game is called The Mortuary Assistant.
Oh my lord.
It's on Steam.
What?
Mortuary assistant?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you help people in a mortuary, basically?
Well, they're dead, but yeah, you.
You help them into their
Oh
final
my
rest.
gosh! I got to wheel dead bodies through this building. This grandma lady in the dark, and then what? Do an autopsy? Oh, I got to roll her hand around and I don't know if I can do this.
So it's chorecore, but then also it has jump scares and stuff in it.
All right. It doesn't come out till spring 2022. So
I guess there was a demo. That's why they reached out. There was a demo you could play.
All right,
And,
Badger Lord, if you're listening,
Or
maybe.
Either one.
Yeah, maybe I'll do it. That looks crazy.
Oh, so this is a Chorker game. Cool.
But see, again,
you're examining the body, like doing the coroner's report.
Yeah. And you got to
And then-
I don't know if you're determining cause of death, if you're there's a shadow lady in the hallway. Oh, and the light went off. Okay, I don't know if I can play it.
Oh, this would be good. Yep. You know what? We need to get this game.
All right. Okay. Well, the
Yeah,
rule,
I
Badger.
approve. Usually I'm defending Scott from this, but this looks like he likes Chorker games. This looks like a good mix.
Yeah.
And you'll
Bo's,
play it and you'll be like, okay, you scared me a bunch. Now I'm never playing it.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I might
It's
try
like,
it. But
there's I can't imagine there's a campaign really that's worth sticking it out for in this. So.
yeah, or any kind of end game. They usually don't have some sort of repeatable thing.
Oh,
but
it's not out yet. It's out in the spring.
yeah, spring.
is
Papers,
demo.
Please is kind of, so I'm starting to think that may have been what hooked me in the first place and then made it so I liked all these kinds of games in different ways. But Papers, Please holds a very unique space in my heart. It may be one of my favorite indies of all time. I just love it. Love going back to it. Still plays great. Looks great. I have this on iPad. I forgot I had it there, so I've been playing it in bed, playing it on PC. It's just a cool game, man. It's very good. And it makes me want to play the Obra Dinn thing that I bought and then never played. So I'll get around to that, I think.
Yeah, I wish listed that too.
Yeah. That's supposed to be amazing.
To-do list a mile long. It's great.
Yeah. That guy, I don't know what his third game will be, but I'm excited. Okay, now the weirdest thing I did all week. I've been playing Tsushima, Ghost of Tsushima. You guys knew that.
Mm-hmm.
Loving it. Great. Having a great time. I got to thinking about Sucker Punch as a developer and the other games that they make that I've always enjoyed. I always liked the Infamous series, which I guess started PS3. And Sly Fox, cool game, PS2 era. Like, I like those guys. And I thought, well, this is them. Oh, sweet. Okay. Well, I'm really enjoying this. I wonder how the PS4 Infamous Son, or Infamous Second Son, rather, I wondered how it played. Because I remember loving that at launch. It was a launch title for PS4. So the first one I bought. And I thought, well, I bet that's good. But let's see how bad it looks here, because it's gonna be 30 frames because they don't offer some kind of upgrade, or if they do, they'll charge me. And like us being a little pissy about the way Sony runs things with that. Yeah. No, that thing runs at 60 frames plus. HDR on, beautiful. It runs great. It looks like a new game. And I ended up playing it for like 7 hours.
Oh, wow.
I don't know what happened. And it wasn't like I was like sick of Tsushima, not at all. I was only popping out for a second to see how this turned out. In fact, I downloaded it while I'm playing Samurai Time, and then it finished, and I went, all right, let's go just see this. I thought I'd pop in and pop out. I got totally hooked on it. It's great. Dude,
It's really good.
Second Son is good. I mean, if you like open world games, I love them, so this is no brainer. This is going to be controversial because I also downloaded the Spider-Man game, PS4 version of the Spider-Man game. Not the new one, not Miles Morales or any of that, but the old one, PS4 version of it, that also runs at 60 frames per second. That's going to be important in a second. And I like how Infamous Second Son plays better than Spider-Man. The minute-to-minute combat, I like it better. Now, that being said, this is Scott's big admission for the week. I was wrong. I thought that every older PS4 game, if they didn't have an upgrade buying path, you're just stuck with 30 frames and whatever it was in its beginnings when it was on there. I was wrong. All of these I've downloaded since, Spider-Man included, they all run at a beautiful 60-plus clip and look great and support HDR and all the other fancy features of my TV. And they look amazing, even in that form. I'm sure the PS5 version of the remaster of that game looks even better, Spider-Man, that is. But the thing I really wanted was like the frame rate increase because we got more power here to work with. And it's totally just in it. It's just part of it. So I apologized last week. I threw a little shade at Sony about upgrade paths and stuff. I still think it's a little screwy in some cases. The fact that I own Spider-Man, but they want me to pay again to get the remastered version of it is a little annoying. But it's not like this widespread issue I was making it out to be. So I apologize to everybody, Sony included.
But I would say this. So Discord was full of discord about this, saying that Scott doesn't know. He said it wrong. He said the wrong thing.
Yeah.
And I think that, it's fair. It's good to admit when you make mistakes and all of
course.
that. But I also think it's fair to say that, like, it's kind of on Sony that they haven't had a clear-cut, easy to say, you can apply this rule to all games policy when it comes to this sort of thing. And there is confusion and questions about it. Because if you didn't know for sure, they're not communicating it very well. And I certainly have heard enough about, like, you got to pay for this one, but this one's free, but this one's doing it, this one isn't, that I believed you the second I heard you. I didn't have any question about it because that's what I had heard too.
Yeah.
So Sony has not done a great job showing and messaging that.
I agree. I think they would do them well to say how great old games look, because they do. That would really be cool for them to do that, but especially with all the bad sentiment that goes their direction regarding backwards compatibility and how they're not taking it as seriously as Microsoft is. I think that the stuff looks really good. And here I am playing a 2013 freaking launch title and going, man, this looks great and feels great and is great. Like, it just is a great game. So I might finish playing Second Son again because I'm just really enjoying it. Tsushima, still fun, still great. Love it. Newer, but loving it. I didn't have time. I was going to do it today and I ran out of time. I had some other stuff going on, but I almost played a new Game Pass game, an indie called crap. Hold on.
Called crap.
Infamous
Second Son is the reason why in There Will Be Dungeons, Stanley's magic is neon pink.
Oh, no way. Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
The neon powers I thought in that game looked really cool. It's always stuck with me. And that's what I, in my head, thought Stanley's magic should look like.
It's also really weird hearing a bunch of like the Vox Machina people talk, in games before they got their fame, before Critical Role stratosphered them. Do you see the cast they released today? The other voices that got hired?
Insane.
It's crazy.
They're all amazing voice actors. So you look at it and you go, well, it's going to have good voice acting for sure. And then they started and you're just like, oh, what?
Yeah.
What?
It's nuts. It's nuts to me. I can't believe it. But if you haven't seen that list, it's crazy. The people that got to be in that show.
It's got David Tennant. It's got Stephanie Beatrice. It's got
that's Doctor Who guy. Right?
Oh, what's his name?
Guy.
Who played Buster Bluth?
Oh, he was also in Veep.
Yeah, I can't remember his real name.
Tony Hale.
Tony
Hale. Yeah.
Yes, that's
the lady from Firefly. She played Zoe. Can't think of her name.
Gina Torres.
Gina Torres. She's in it. There was one that really cracked me up, and I can't remember it.
Dominic Monaghan.
Dominic Monaghan's in it from Lord of the Rings. Just a crazy list. I think Felicia Day is somebody. It's just a great cast list, and that's on top of this, already insane amount of voice talent that they just are naturally. Anyway, that's a hell of a thing. I'm excited for those guys. It's like in a week. That premieres. All right, the game. I cannot find the name of this game, but it was
Gorogoa.
Oh, I found it. Okay, Spelunky 2 came, which I'm excited about because I never bought it. And now I get to play it. The Anacrusis, which I want to check out. That's definitely one I want to check. But then the one Nobody Saves the World's the one I want to play. This looks like an awesome top-down dual-stick shootery roguelike thing, and I'm going to play that soon. So didn't get a chance, but going to give that a shot. Been hearing good things.
Death's Door popped up on there, which bummed me out because I just bought it.
Oh, is that on game?
At least I bought it at a good sale price, but Yeah.
I didn't know
It's
that.
on there now. Yeah, Hitman Trilogy just got added, which that one I dodged purchasing.
Dang.
Hitman Trilogy's on there. Windjammers 2 just got added. And a thing called Paparazzi.
Paparazzi. That's right.
Put your love for pups to the test. We have a bunch of dogs that need their photos taken. Doggone it.
Yep.
Photograph and catalog the finest and derpiest dogs to build your career. Upgrade your camera and discover new canines. Woof.
Yep. And Bo, Skate 3 is on. Skate 3 is available to you on Game Pass. Skate 3.
Yeah, I bought it. I bought it for like $5.
So do we want to talk about that at all? That you dumped Game Pass today. You're done.
Oh yeah, I dumped Game Pass and I dumped Nvidia. I got a whole bunch of messages and my accounts got charged. I'm like, I have subs for these things.
You got to keep track of those because they don't have to.
Like so loud when it happened. I was like, I'm so irritated.
That's what's great about them, though.
John, isn't it? Sorry, I don't want to. Are we?
No, it's what's good about them is you can cancel them anytime, so you don't get charged.
So here's the thing. Like, I think it's probably. So I posted on Twitter that I'm over Xbox. I'm unsubbing and I'm out. And part of it is just a personality thing. I like underdogs, and Xbox felt underdoggy. At the beginning of 2021 when we were talking about them, and now it's just like they bought Blizzard, and I'm like, okay, I'm
not
like,
this week.
I'm just they bought Blizzard, and I'm just, okay, they're just gonna buy everything. Then I'm not interested in them anymore. Like it's like it's one of those. It's just a personality thing. I'm like this with a lot of stuff. If something's popular, I tend to just gravitate away, just as a personality thing. And like I'm like they're making great moves. I got nothing but compliments for their business stratagems, but I'm just like, ugh. I'm basically, praising McDonald's of video games at this point. I'm out, man. And like, so, that's part of it.
Yeah.
And then, so I just posted anyways, my sentiment on Twitter, and then I got a lot of negative feedback on that, but I don't care. It's my feelings.
I think the problem is you presented it as one thing. And I think everybody who knew you went, well, Bo's just being contrarian because Microsoft had big news this week. Everybody knew what was going on, but you were like, I paid $150 for Skate 3, and that's the only thing I paid it for. And everybody who knew you was like, but that's horseshit.
You played Sea of Thieves. You played like, all kinds of stuff.
But like, I feel now like all I did was play Sea of Thieves and Skate 3, so fine. But I'm overpaying for them because I hate the feeling of like I better play my Xbox Game Pass or else I won't get value out of it. Just like I better watch Netflix because I'm paying for it. I'm like, I just want to watch what I feel like watching, and I don't want to have a sense of obligation because I'm shelling out money that I earn on things that I have to then be in that environment, knowing that the company's like, sweet, we got daily active users. Our daily active users are up. Yeah. Let's have a keynote speech. I'm like, I don't want to be farmed by these people so that they can pleasure themselves over their numbers that they've made on this stuff. Like now that enters my head, I'm like, I do not want to be a part of this. Like, this grinder.
But you pay for what do you have Netflix or something, right? Like, what's the difference?
I do, but I only buy a gift card and I get 1 month at a time. And even then, I'm irritated by the way products are presented. Like, I don't like was that thing? Every debt that you have is a relationship to you, and every debt that someone owes to you is a relationship. So the number of relationships I have to things in life, if I have a recurring subscription, I've got a relationship with the service. It enters into my brain, and I'm like, my brain space is precious. I want it out. I don't want to be thinking about Phil Spencer all the time or Netflix or am I using this thing that I sub for? Frickin' Nintendo made $15 off me that they didn't need to because I forgot to sub a whole bunch. Even though I saw it, I'm like, I'll go home and unsub, and then forgot about it completely. But I didn't play any of it's not. I know it's not theft, okay?
Yeah.
Because I agreed and didn't unsub, but it feels like getting ripped off. What if my neighbor was just like, just give me $5 for nothing because you forgot it?
Yeah,
like,
but
the game, I'm getting ripped off.
That's not a good comparison. If he said I'm going to come shovel your walk for a week for $5 and then doesn't show up, that's not the same as you forgetting to unsub to a thing that gave you everything you paid for.
But let's say I paid him in advance and he didn't forget. It'd be more like it didn't snow. I said, he's like, give me $5 for the month and I will shovel your laneway if it snows, and then it doesn't snow. I'd be like, well, what did I give him $5 for?
Yeah, but that doesn't snow in this comparison is you forgetting to unsub to something. That's what didn't snow.
And it's just like, I just feel like the companies profit from this forgetfulness more often.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's true. That's true.
And I hate how they're just like, people are in our environment. And I'm like, you're counting me, and I'm not really into your environment. I just forgot to unsub to your shit. Like, I don't want to be a part of that nonsense. Like,
you know what? I just realized what this is like.
You stole from me, basically.
This is what this is like. This is like, no, maybe that doesn't work. I'm trying to think of a better scenario here. It's like
Figure has it in the chat. If you paid $5 a month for massages from your neighbor, then was like, I'm not really wanting a massage right now. That's accurate. It's not an act of God that came in and prevented you from getting your value. It's your decision that you didn't want it.
Right. And even if you, here's what you should do.
And I'm not I
know.
I didn't say it was a bad deal for anyone or that it's stupid. I just saying I'm over. I'm talking about me.
No, I know.
So when I post something,
I get
and
it.
everyone says he's talking about me, and it's like I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about me. I hate it.
I totally get that.
You can love it, and I'm happy for it.
Here's how you have to look at it. You got to look at it like credit cards. Credit cards in
I don't
my
have
life
any of those
anyway.
either.
Well, that's good that you don't. But if you have them, which helps build credit and makes things a lot more convenient, the deal for me was if I'm going to have those, I will pay them off always. I will never have a balance and never pay interest ever. Yeah. So they count on most people.
I can't pay them off. That's why I don't have them.
Well, exactly. And there are people who have them who don't and end up paying a ton of, way less on principal, way more on interest, because that is the business model that benefits them. And yes, people forget. You just have to be one of those people who don't or have a plan. And in the case of this, here's what you do. You sign up for Game Pass on the 1st of the month. And as soon as you sign up and hit submit and it says, hi, welcome to Game Pass, you go right back in and cancel. They give you a month and it's done at the end of the month and you didn't forget. That's how you do it.
You know, but there's this magic thing where you assume I can do that. Like, that's why I don't have, it's like credit cards. You can pay them off every month. It's easy. Except every time I have a credit card, it's like $5,000 and I've been paying through my nose and then I don't pay or whatever. Like, that's why I'm like, F credit cards, take your credit and shove it up your ass. I don't like your financial system.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel about subbing. I feel like I got to manage these subs. I feel like they take advantage of me. I feel like they congratulate themselves over it. I'd rather just pay for something and be done with it.
And here's the other thing I like about you, or I think this is where this is mainly
unless
coming
I'm
from.
using it every day. A WoW sub, if
Sure.
I'm playing WoW.
If you're playing all the time.
Like, I'm an intense gamer. I will commit to a game for a long stretch of time. Very happy to battle pass it up or sub if I'm using it.
Right.
But that's really only ever applied to MMOs. As a gamer, like if I'm playing an MMO of some kind, I know I'm using it. Final Fantasy got $30 out of me for 20 hours of playtime. Like, they got their money's worth. But...
I know. I got some nice perks because Bo used
and I
my
bought the game too.
code.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I bought the game too. They got a lot of money from me for nothing. And I'm not mad about that. I want to try their game.
Right.
But like, I just feel assaulted because every business, like, Dollar Shave Club exists. Subscribe for razors. Like, it's so stupid. Sorry, I'm getting mad. But
well, no. Here's what I would say. You're the kind of gamer that buys something like Valheim, you spend your $30, and then you are nose to the grindstone of that game for a really long time until you have had it. Like, you don't just lightly touch on this and then go, okay, now I'm in the mood for this other thing. And now the kind of way I play, Game Pass is a godsend. Because I love to be able to go, I'm in the mood for driving. Sweet, here comes Forza 5. And then they're like, I need to shoot some stuff. Multiplayer Halo, here I come. I need some indies. Sweet, these 3 new indies dropped today. Like, it fits me to a T, and I feel like I've taken advantage of them because I use it all so much. I think if you're not using it and you would rather deep dive into your $40 one-time buy, I think there's nothing wrong with that. I think and I hope the industry.
There's nothing wrong with anything. I'm not telling anyone the way they live is wrong. I'm on a microphone. I give my opinions on things. And I have a Twitter account. I write what I feel like on it. Like, don't take it so personally if I don't like your effing Game Pass, okay? You can still like it. Like, chill the F out. Like, holy shit. It's my blog. You can write what you like on your blog or don't like.
If you'd like to send an email to Corbaka,
just tweet me. Let's do it now. Why wait for the emails to go through?
Yeah, well, let's get Corbaka's reaction each week to these tweets. That's amazing. All right, let's move on. Bon. I meant John. Are you still playing the Wordle? You got the Wordle going on there?
I am. I feel like I need to be clear after last week that I am on the hook now for Wordle, and I've played it every single day since Bo convinced me to play it live on the show. And I'm in a heated competition with my wife now because I don't post it on Twitter. I didn't want to be that much of a hypocrite where I was like, I don't like seeing it on my Twitter feed and then going, oh, well, I do like the game. So now I'm going to post it on my Twitter feed constantly. But I do send my score to my wife and compete with her. She has beat me every day except once, which is extra embarrassing because around these parts, I'm known as the word guy and she's the math lady. But despite that, she kills me constantly. And really, the competition was born out of the fact that I was playing it and she was in the room. This was the second day, so this would have been last Friday. And she's sitting on her computer, and I'm over there, and she goes, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I'm playing Wordle." And she goes, "Ugh, you're doing that?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's, they convinced me on core. It's actually pretty fun." And she's just like, "Whatever." Like, she looks at me the way Bo looks at subscriptions, and I was just like, "Okay, well." I've apparently disgusted her by getting on this trend. And then next thing I know, all of a sudden she says, "Hey, try this word." And I was like, "Don't give me a word if you're thinking what I'm doing is stupid." But then I was like, "That is a good word though." And I tried it and it got a lot of things right. And she goes, "Oh, do this now." Yeah. And I was like, "Play your own damn Wordle if you want to play Wordle. Stop helping me on mine. I want to get it." And I did very well on the one she did for me. And that made me mad.
Yeah, but
I was like, "Fine, you got to do your own Wordle from now on because I feel like this was a cheat Wordle now, and now you got to do it." And we're in a heated competition, and she has been rightfully beating me.
Wordle's great. I approve of everything that's happening here, and it's good that she's beating you. It means you married well.
Yeah, I did good.
Take it for the positivity that it is.
Hey, Bo, what if Wordle launched a subscription service?
Don't.
No, the whole point of Wordle is that it is so not that, right? It's so like, I wouldn't mind if the guy made a bit of cash. I mean, it is free and that's great and all. I have nothing against him throwing an ad in there or something to get some revenue.
Of course.
The fact that he's only dipping his toe, one puzzle a day, it's genius. Sometimes the simplest ideas are genius. That's all you get. You get one shot and you got to wait the next day.
Yeah, I get it. Well, good. Wordle continues to be a thing. Final Fantasy V is also a thing. John, what are you doing there?
Yeah, I've been streaming that, but that has really changed from my previous Final Fantasy experiences. So far, as I've talked to you all about playing these new Pixel remasters, it's just been, blazing through it, just getting through it. And last night, for almost 3 hours, I just sat and fought in the same fights over and over again, using the same trick to instantly kill the enemies I was fighting just to level up jobs. And I realized that 5 has gotten me on the system side in a weird way that none of the others have so far.
Interesting.
Like every single other Final Fantasy, I have found my own way to make it through, my own play style. And on this, what they've presented is a job system that's really, really compelling and really interesting. And I think 5 really gets by on how good that system is, because the characters I don't think are very good, and the story I don't think is very good. But the job system in it is really solid because it allows you to mix and match stuff. So, you level up knight, and by the time you hit mastery as being a knight, you have the ability now to where the next job you give your character, one of the traits you can assign them is they can use a sword. So now all of a sudden, like, oh, well, now I'm going to be a white mage and I'm going to be a white mage that can use a sword or something like that. Like, you get to mix and match pieces and carry stat bonuses over and all this stuff. And I was just like, oh, this is so cool. But I don't want to do like big streams of me just grinding for XP. So I just kind of relegated it to something I did last night. And I spent 3 hours doing this. I had a great time doing it. Like, it was mindless and dumb, and it was really, really fun. So I had a great time with it and thoroughly enjoyed it. That game is good, in spite of the fact that I don't think the story or the characters are very good. But except that in some localizations, the main character's name is Butts.
Butts? That's amazing. Yeah, Butts, old Butts.
So apparently the translation for the main character's name is something of a debate. In some localizations, it's translated as Bart's in an attempt to make it a more normal sounding name, but apparently it sometimes translates as Butts, which is a fantastic name for a character.
By the way, and I agree here with Zero in the chat, He says, John, I know you said you didn't intend to play Final Fantasy Tactics previously, but what if I told you it was Five's job system, but better with grid combat, turn-based grid combat?
So I have played Final Fantasy Tactics.
Yeah.
I love it. It's really
great.
good. I haven't beaten it. Much like most other Final Fantasies, I've never actually completed the game, but it is really good. I just have always said that I don't want to stream it because, one, I don't have an easy way to do it. Because I think I own Final Fantasy Tactics on PlayStation, but I don't own a PlayStation. So that's a problem. So I could go down the list of emulators and stuff like that. We could do ROMs or whatever, but I don't really want to do that for my stream if I can avoid it. If they put out a re-release of Tactics, I would probably be all over it. I also play strategy games in an extremely annoying way. So I'm very meticulous and slow and thoughtful, and it just doesn't make for great streaming. But then again, a bunch of people watch me fight the same thing for 3 hours.
I don't know. I think you're selling yourself short. I don't want to see PewDiePie play a strategy game. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
What else do you want? You want a thinker? Like, it's not exciting, but like, what do you want? What should I do next, guys? You know, like
moves them forward.
You know, like, I mean,
I know what I want. I want Corbaka playing a turn-based strategy game.
I've created a monster here.
Yeah, it's great. I already put your photo up.
Oh my gosh. But I don't think that's actually his eyes. I think that might be a reflection, but he's got the wild eyes.
Yeah, look at this. I'll put it in Discord. That's the one I captured of you, and it makes it look like your eyes are all bugged out underneath that. It's really weird. I think it's reflection from the screen, but it's really good.
Oh, I see what you mean. Like one's going down.
Yeah, it's like going. It's all ski really wampus. You played some more Halo. Anything to say there?
Yeah, the only reason I mention more Halo is because people think I just hate that game and are not giving it a chance. So I just want to be clear. I'm still playing Halo Infinite. I'm still having a really fun time in Halo Infinite. I don't really know what's happening because I'm not being captivated by the story. There's still a lot of Master Chief, like things happening and Master Chief just going, not today.
Not today.
And like that's the whole thing. It's like, Chief, we gotta get off this ring. We gotta just go home. We're not gonna do that.
Not today.
Okay. Yeah. And like it's just a lot of that. So the story hasn't really changed my mind. I've had plenty of people. Nobody else needs to send it. I understand this game might end in a really cool, captivating way. Well, I'm not to the ending yet, and they haven't started caring yet. But I do like new Cortana. And she doesn't really have a name. She's just sort of like the new Cortana.
She's great though. She's real good.
Exactly like old Cortana. I like her.
Yeah.
She's a little goofy. I do find, Master Chief exactly as endearing with his I'm gonna give them back their bomb. Like just what he's doing. It's fine.
Yeah.
But the gameplay is really good. And I've gotten to a bunch of fights that were really challenging. I forgot that I'm not playing on Legendary, but whatever the next one down from that is. And I keep finding myself going, why is this game hard?
Yeah.
And I remember that I did it to myself.
And it doesn't let you, it's one of the few modern games that don't let you go change that mid-game. You have to play it on the setting you started at. So,
but I'm having a lot of fun with it. It's still really solid. The guns feel good. The shooting feels good. The sound is great.
Mm-hmm.
Everything about that game is great. So I'm just slowly making my way through it and having a blast.
Very nice. Bo, still working away there in Valheim. I understand you made a. Oh no, that was a video. I saw somebody make a boat ramp, and I kept thinking I was watching you, but it wasn't you. So what did you do? Tell me what you did.
Well, I'm going to start off my section with an apology first, I think. Long overdue. Well, not long overdue, but John really put things in perspective for me last week, and that I've given you quite a hard time about your Chorecore games and playing real games. And I've got to say, I've joined the Chorecore. I really can't deny that I've joined the Chorecore family in playing Valheim. I'm up to like 100 hours or so in this game at this point.
Yeah.
And my idea of fun is I'm expanding my house right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm taking care of my pigs. I have wild boars, and I have like 20, and I've named them after you guys and my family members and viewers. And on my second farm, the multiplayer farm with Scott, Mike, and Crofton, I made the Star Wars universe. So all the boars are named after Star Wars characters. and well, those are getting slaughtered.
That's
but anyway,
awesome.
So I have like 2 campaigns going at the same time in this, and really, we went on an ore run. We chopped down trees.
No subscription to be
I
seen.
moved my garden over. My garden was like disorganized, so I expanded the fence and remade my garden. I'm playing Stardew Valley. I'm so mad at myself.
You know what though?
But
Here's the difference. Here's the difference.
whatever.
You're playing a chore core game that has real consequences if you f up. In other words, you die a lot.
Sure.
There's real fighting involved. Like it matters that you're surviving. Whereas
So
a lot of the
it's an
chore core,
edgier version of those. Like you lose skill point. Like 5% of all your Skyrim skills that you earn by doing things go away when you die. It's really annoying.
yeah.
It's pretty, but
I think that's why I don't like it.
It's an edgier version of those games, sure, and it has actually decent fighting system and good multiplayer. But like, it's not unique or one of a kind game, and it certainly qualifies as chorey.
Yeah.
I certainly have said I got to do some chores before I do this. I've literally said the word chores.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, Scott.
No, don't be sorry.
And John too, because you've been playing the chore car games too, and I'm like, I only play real games, basically.
games.
Almost.
Yeah.
So
I still, it obviously Valheim's a lot closer to your normal pedigree. It's a lot further away than say, Power Wash Simulator or freaking gas station simulator or whatever. But still, sometimes the mundane can kind of be a good time,
I think this game really speaks to me. This game was my childhood. I mean, I spent times with friends. It wasn't all awful, but when we went out home on the weekends, Dad's done work, we're going up to the forest. It wasn't like, oh, let's go have a good time. Like I was put to work all the time. So our idea of a good time was, let's make a road in the forest. Like, let's cut down trees. Let's brush the roads.
Mm-hmm.
Let's clean up the road. And let's go to the camp. This weekend, we're putting a roof on the camp. Like that. I'm literally doing what I was doing in forced to do in my childhood, and I groaned about it. And I'm like, this is odd comfort in digging a path out into the forest, building a fort with your friends, chopping firewood, just doing all that camp shit. Basically, I'm not a camper or outdoors person, but I'm doing all the things you would do in the outdoors in this video game.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm like, maybe I should be doing this. Like, I like it very much in video game form. It seems weird.
It's weird, right? Because I'm the same way. I love video games where you're on boats and doing things on boats. I've been playing the raft. It's my favorite part of Assassin's Creed Odyssey or Black Flag. Like, I just love the sailing and all of that. I find the ocean very terrifying.
Yeah.
don't particularly like it.
But
in video games, sign me up.
Yeah, something about I'm bad with water, deep dark water, not my jam. I can't. I could only play that. What's that cool survival underwater game that everyone raves about? There's
Subnautica.
Subnautica is beautiful and amazing, an incredible game, but I couldn't play it very long because it's scary as shit in there.
Yeah, that game makes me sound like Scott, even though we say that I don't get scared in video games.
Oh, you should stream that game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still am not entertaining.
You should stream that game. No. You should stream that game and let Scott help you. One good turn deserves
be the
another.
blind leading the blind.
Yeah, I don't like water. Deep water gets me, but space, I'm fine with space, unless it's dead space, and then all bets are off.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there you go. Wild Rift also. How's that going?
Yeah. I'm still playing WoW.
Yeah, it's great.
I bought Ezreal for in-game money, and I'm learning to play Ezreal.
Man, you just gave a big mega corporation owned by a Chinese conglomerate money. I can't believe it. It's like a subscription almost. Just kidding. I'm just teasing you.
Yeah, I know. I buy the battle pass for sure. They're getting my money.
Yeah. Well, look, if you're enjoying it, then you should pay for it. Right?
I gotta look sexy when I'm owning face. Like it's like there's. I know it's a bit hypocritical. I'm willing to live with that. But like, if you give me a game where I can own someone and I could look sexier or cooler doing it, my money's gone. Like, you got my money. There you go. Like, it's very hard. It was like that in Heroes, and I bought the golden gun in PlanetSide because I wanted to see people because they show you who killed you, and I wanted to have that gun and see like, there you go, you little sucker. I had $20 to drop on the golden commissioner, and you don't get owned. Like, I don't know why I'm like that, but I'm like. It's hard not to buy awesome skins in these games.
Yeah, that's how they get you. But that's cool. Yeah. I also really
they know their clientele.
They absolutely do. Hey, you know who knows us really well is listener TMS Mashups, who made a mashup of the show, took a bunch of things we said out of context and mushed them all up for us. And it's almost like chaos.
I'm here to kill chaos.
All right, so we're going to kill some chaos with this this core mashup. It's called Humormus?
Well, one of us said it, so get ready to find out who.
Yeah, you'll find out now. Enjoy.
It's the greatest game of all time. That's all I want to say. Oh my God, there's a spider. God damn it. I'll be back.
That sounds great. How soon can I shove one up my anus? Notoriously bad load times, like Uninspired 2. What's the name of it? It's not Uninspired. That's the wrong word. I can never think of it. It's the Bethesda game where he's stealthing around in like steampunk land. Not Uncharted.
Dishonored.
Filtered. That's it. Dishonored. Gosh dang it. There's a horror game in here somebody made. Not horror. Like horror. I found a horror. Not like that.
Yeah.
But like horror.
What? I understood what you meant, and then you explained it, and I understood it less.
Has anyone ever said the words, I've found a whore?
I found a horror.
I found a whore.
I'm here to tell you, I think I keep wanting to say Uncharted. What's it? What is it again?
Dishonored?
Dishonored! Shit! That was an old system that needed to mature and come current. Microsoft's finally letting go, and that's good. Bo, yes, you were laughing at something. What were you laughing at?
Well, you just said come current, and it made me laugh. I'm sorry. It had nothing to do with anything. Just was laughing.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, it's good.
Anyways, moving on.
Just come, and they come fast. Like you're just always getting better. Because in the 360 era, Microsoft got to charge this stuff. He was still laughing at come current. What are you doing over there?
I'm sorry, I'm losing it.
And it looks like a fair amount of stealth in that, which is my favorite thing of the. I almost said Uncharted again. What is it again? Oh my gosh!
Dishonored.
Dishonored. Why does that keep happening? Your guy gets all breathy when he's pulling it out. You can hear him in his helmet going, kind of like freaking out or whatever.
That's from.
I see faces.
What's the place? The Swedish company that does furniture.
Oh, IKEA.
Yeah, it's from
IKEA?
IKEA.
The Swedish place that does furniture.
Is it Swedish?
Yes. Oh, John was me
it's
for a
not
hot
Finnish?
second. That was basically John. For right then, that was like me. Yeah, no, IKEA is Swedish. They're humormous. Humormous? That's not a word. I made that up.
Well, it's a Swedish word.
Humormous.
Oh, humongous furniture. I don't know if that's a Swedish accent.
No, you nailed it right out of the gate.
I'm going to IKEA for humongous furniture.
Dude, your Swedish accent is horrendous. It's horrendous.
I'm going to IKEA for humongous furniture.
Oh my gosh, that was good.
I don't even know what accent that is. I just do
freaking
that.
Jamie, you're good at these. Keep these coming, man. I love it. Oh my gosh, there's some old stuff in there. Really old stuff. I loved it.
Yeah.
Well done, and thank you for that. It is now time for one final thing.
That's a good question.
An email from a listener named Xavier. Okay, this is cool. I like that name. Anyway, the email address is talktothecore@gmail.com. He says, hello, Core. Love the show. Last week, you all talked about hand cramping while playing. I find my hand cramping when I'm playing games like Valheim/ESO because of all of the hold shift to sprint options. I mostly find it when I'm holding shift to sprint, and I think if I hold it harder, I will sprint harder out of situations like packs of mobs. Also, Valheim has some really cool mods that you all should look into. Valheim Plus, the Magic Overhaul mod, has some really cool ones. Hope you're all having a great week in gaming, Xavier. So as far as hand cramping goes, I prefer toggle when I can, like an aim toggle. I prefer that over holding it. I think in a shooter. It depends on the game, though. Sometimes I forget, and you swing around. You're like, no, don't be aiming still. I don't know. There's ways to limit some of that stuff is what I'm getting at. So, yeah. And my hand's doing a lot better. If it's not from games. I slept on it bad, like this. Why, John, what are you laughing at?
Nothing.
Why? What?
Still laughing about cum current. It's fine.
Yeah, it's like a tornado of sperm.
I looked at the window, or I looked at John's little window. His little window, and he's over there just cracking up. I'm like,
nothing. I'm immature. You're just sitting here talking about my hand cramp, and you're like, and it's not from gaming.
Yeah,
and it just made me laugh because I'm immature. It's fine.
You're going through what I went through when that happened. We're just like, I can't help it. All I'm thinking about is jizz.
Yeah, well done, everybody.
Already on the email, it was already pretty bad because it was started about games and then it turned into I mostly find it when I'm holding shift to sprint. I think if I hold it harder, I will sprint harder. My brain was already, you can only say hold it, hand cramping, sprint harder, and my brain just goes to the gutter and lives there.
Yeah, it lives there, stays there, sets up camp, doesn't leave.
I'm a holder on the sprint, but I kind of like toggle crouch.
I do too. Toggle crouch, toggle run. If it's a game that needs a lot of running, like how does Valheim do that? How do you run for
shift? You hold down shift.
That's it. There's no
funny.
auto run.
I didn't even think about it. Like I just do it reflexively.
What if there's an auto
you have
run?
an auto run button, which you use. It's like because it's more like WoW. Like the game is kind of like WoW, and then it's third person, and you're killing stuff. And, it's just no hotbar things, but. Yeah, it's shift.
Oh, there's a mod on Mod Nexus for this. A simple run mod that improves the base game's auto run functionality. Instead of running in a straight line in the direction the character is facing when enabling auto run, the player will run in the direction you aim your mouse. Has a few other little features such as sprint toggle, sneak toggle, and stamina reserve, and more.
So the default one has the weird auto run where you have to hold down the right mouse button to change your character pathing.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it just moves the camera around.
Oh, gotcha.
And I think people want it to be different. I'm assuming that's why the mod exists.
Yeah. There's a whole bunch of mods. Holy crap, there's a ton of these. Wow, the modding
very
community.
moddable game.
They're having a party with that thing. Okay. Well, very nice. Oh, I should tell you know what? On the show live, I'm gonna tell somebody that Core is like the awesome video game show that it is. So because he thinks it's still Heroes. So hold on, we're gonna do this real quick because I just got this. So I'll say Core is what do we call it? All gaming. So consoles, PCs, indies, etc. It's a guy who works at Blizzard for years now. You might really enjoy it.
I like that we're like, hey, hi, person who works at Blizzard. We don't talk about the Blizzard game anymore. You might like it.
You might like that.
Well, he's an instance guy. He listens to the instance, which is fine. But I think he just didn't know what Core
was. Out of
was.
Context, as John's saying, that's what it sounds like.
I really like him. He's a cool guy. He's always giving me nice feedback. Anyway,
I wish we heard more about the great guys at Blizzard. We're just
all these great guys and ladies, man, holding it down, making it happen. We'll hear more from them now that Jesus Microsoft has swept into the room and saved us all. All right, moving on. Thanks for the email. Talk to the court. Did we answer his question? Yeah, we did. There were no questions.
Do your hands cramp?
I don't know. They don't really bother me. You know what else? I'll tell you what. Another good side of being a variety gamer, like I just love all of it, is you're always changing up your control methods. It's mouse here, controller there, more keyboard than the other one here, like portable, handheld, phone, whatever. So I'm never doing the same motions too repetitively. See?
Yeah, I think the worst hand cramping I've gotten in 2021 was playing Pokemon Unite for like 12 hours straight on the controller.
Oh, yeah, that'll kill you.
You would cramp anyone's hand up, but that's probably the worst I had it.
I agree. That's pretty bad. Actually, I'm trying to think. The last time I actually hurt was some Switch game, but I don't remember what it was. Something I was playing too much of. I don't remember. All right, let's move on to a couple of quick mentions here. I want to thank everybody for supporting our Patreon, patreon.com/core show. You know who you are, but I'll mention a few of you anyway. Dave DeCroy, or Cross. I'm not sure if it's pronounced that way. Also, someone named Brian and Adam Bleinslev. Thank you so much, all of you, for supporting Core. If you want to be like them and get all kinds of great benefits for doing it, support your favorite video game podcast over at patreon.com/core show. All right. I think we're done.
We love you guys for subbing, by the way. It makes a big difference.
Yeah, huge difference. This is the kind of sub. This is the kind of sub Bo can get behind. This sub.
Yeah, this is the sub. This is the sub that I love.
Yeah, the sub we love, the sub you need.
See, Patreon. I realize the redundancy on raging about subs being a sub. I realize that.
I don't think that's your problem. I think your problem is giant corporation versus the little guy. I totally get it. Because we're the little guy in this situation.
I'm not that mad about it. I just need to manage my life better. That's really what it is.
You just need to cancel as soon as you sign up to anything, and then you won't be surprised.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's what I would do.
You know what? I just need a good partner in life who's going to do all this stuff for me. I think that's what I know.
Honestly,
I'm good in other ways. Like, it's a team thing. The money stuff, I don't have an ego about it anymore. Not my thing. Someone else handle bills and shit, please.
Kim does that for me, so I have no room to talk. If suddenly Kim disappeared tomorrow, I don't know what I'm doing. I really don't know what I'm doing.
Well, you end up like me. Look at me.
Yeah, look at you. Look at you.
You'll have long hair, and you'll be like, God damn it, I hate subs.
Yep. I can be Corbacca.
Can't manage my life.
Yep, Corbacca comes back in twos.
Yeah, that's just Scott's cam.
Corbacca and Joe Baca.
Yep. Well, that's it for the show, everybody. We hope you enjoyed yourselves. We sure did, and we'd like to see you back again next time. Before we leave, quick words of wisdom going around the table. Let's start with John. John, anything you want to say to the people?
If you wear glasses, don't touch them. You
Yeah.
know, it's a reminder of how gross the human body is. It's
Yeah.
a reminder of how awkward glasses can be. And if you do touch your glasses in the middle of the show or something, just fake that you can see through the entire show and you're not staring through nasty fingerprints.
Wow. I feel like I learned something about you tonight that
Yeah.
I didn't expect. Bo, you want anything to add there?
I got more on the glasses front too. Don't leave your glasses in bed with you when you sleep, or else they break like this. And then when you're like me, it's not because you can't afford to. These are like brand new and they're already broken.
Yeah.
It's not because I can't afford to buy new ones. It's just I
pain in
hate
the
buying
ass.
things from online and having them delivered because my mail is also annoying because they don't deliver my mailbox. It's a long story.
Yeah.
Don't put the glasses in your bed, then roll on top of them.
Warby Parker has a subscription that might get you all the glasses you need.
There's
Warby-
a glasses subscription.
I think there is. I think you can.
Oh god.
You can get them on a regular basis. Well, anyway, there's a sub for everything. And now we leave you. Thank you all for listening, for watching, for hanging out. We'll see you next time.
This show is part of the Frog Pants Network. Yes. Get more at frogpants.com.
I'm here to kill chaos.
I have the chaff.
Oh.
Oh,
Chaos,
poor
Jeff.
Chaos.